Hello.
And welcome in, everybody. I am here with Dakota Redheart. I am Vicariously Jambi. We will be talking about animated thriller movies. Specifically, we're going to be talking about The Garden of Sinners, Chapter 1 animated movie? Yeah, it's an animated movie. So, uh, as I try to structure the layout a little bit better, so be better suited to talk more ish. Uh, what do you know of the definition of a thriller, Dakota?
Me?
Yes, not you,
Well,
Julie.
it's basically kind of like not necessarily horror, but like in the sense that like it makes you kind of feel like at the edge of your seat, like oh, it's gonna happen next, like the anticipation of something happening, kind of right.
Right, right. So it's like, let me give you like a couple of ish
Mm.
seconds, and I will scoot you a little bit.
All right.
Half the stuff I don't even know why I'm scooting over. Oh, I think no, that wasn't. There you are.
I'm
You
moving now.
moving to the grooving. There, and me. Ah, who did that? Oh, it was you. Elongate you.
Oh no, is it time for my elongation?
You never know. I mean, fuck, I even put the fucking vor tag on the stream.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. Uh. Snooze that for a second. So, thriller, movies by definition
Hmm.
are you got that mostly correct. So
Hmm.
it's like a thriller movie is a genre movie that aims to keep the audience at the edge of their seats through tension, suspense,
Hmm.
and unexpected twists. So
Hmm.
like something similar to along the lines of say like M. Night Shyamalan, for example, where a lot
Hmm.
of his early movies, and I say early movies because a lot of his newer shit ain't doing it
Oh
anymore.
yeah.
But like a lot of his earlier movies would like push you on at have like an uneasy feeling. Like for example, when I
Hmm.
first watched the movie Signs as a little kid, and that's probably like the
Hmm.
only time ever his works were effective that way was like if you were like watching stuff that like you weren't supposed
Hmm.
to as a little kid. I got
Yeah.
scared the fuck out of my little hidey hole from trying to watch that movie because of like
Was it the VHS scene?
it was a lot of scenes. So for like example, like
Hmm.
when the daughter calls for her dad to come see the monster outside the window, and the dad's like, it's not a monster. It was probably just a raccoon. And then he
Hmm.
literally looks out the window, and literally on the fucking shed across from where the window is, you see a dark figure standing, staring through the window.
No.
That scared the fuck out of
That
me.
that was my worst nightmare as a kid. Just waking up in the middle of the night and seeing like ET at my window or something.
Yeah.
Specifically, ET fucked me up for some reason. That movie's a horror.
And that's actually a good example for like a suspense because
Yeah.
of how the lead up to the
Mm.
reveal of ET and then
Uh-huh.
the outright reveal scared the shit out of me. Like when the
Oh
kid
yeah.
finds ET in the crops or some stuff like that, and
That jump scare.
that ET is like that made me hide my face in my dad's
Same.
armpit. Like I was that fucking scared. And
Like frick that movie. Like this begins with like a breathing tree and that creepy ass spaceship. It's weird.
But like the suspense and tension from the movie alone is like on
Hmm.
fucking point. How it starts off like with ET like hiding in the shed and that eerie glow in the middle of
Oh yeah.
night, and then the kid like leaves a trail of Reese's Pieces up into his
Hmm.
room, and all you see is that elongated hand reaching for those individual pieces.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
If you told me that was originally supposed to be a horror movie, but then execs said to make it a kids movie for like marketing, I would believe it.
Oh yeah, same dude.
Kind of reminds me of like the whole Kangaroo Jack scenario where that was supposed to just be like a crime mob movie, but it like sucked ass. But like for some reason the test audiences love the kangaroo scene, so they're like, give us a couple million more dollars and we'll make it a kids movie about the kangaroo. And it worked. They clickbaited everyone. It made a lot of money and people were pissed.
Oh yeah. All right. So those are like very good examples of suspense in movies, or what can be considered like thrillers in their own right. Um, so the theme I did two wheels for like themes and whatnot. So I did like themes, and then I did mediums. So I ended up with a thriller for the genre, and then I did and then the second wheel ended up landing on an animated film for the second theme that we are going to talk about, which is animated films with a thriller genre to them. And I looked on IMBD, whatever the fuck it is, BD is sleepy, and there's surprisingly a lot of thriller animated movies out there. And some of them I didn't realize were thrillers, but now that I look back on it, they do make sense. Like, for example, the original Ghost in the Shell animated movie. I remember that being like my like childhood crush going on because of that one scene where so the main character in Ghost in the Shell has this bodysuit, right? And towards the end of the movie, she kind of has to throw away the bodysuit because the technology in the suit was giving her away her position, and so she had an excuse to pretty much butt ass naked.
Oh, no.
and so that was kind of like my like awakening moment, if you know what I mean. But honestly, for a good part of it, I was too young to understand like the nuance and the writing and the subtext for Ghost in the Shell. But
You just like just watching like head empty, like, oh, naked robot lady, and then like as an adult, like, oh wait, this is actually kind of deep.
it really is, and it's actually weird too because the manga for Ghost in the Shell is very like the main character is Major Matoko Kusanagi, and Major Kusanagi in the anime is very let's see, serious, very I got a train coming, and very stoic, very honorable and whatnot. But in the manga, she's like sassy. She's very sarcastic and everything. She's like the opposite of what she is in the anime, and it kind of throws me off sometimes. And there's like a lot of like scenes in the manga that can be like memed so fucking hard. Like there's a I gotta let the trade pass by real quick. Okay. But there's a scene in the manga, and I laugh at this all the time, because like she gets into like a mech, like a battle mech or something like that, and and literally I can't remember if it I think it's in the book I have too. She literally shouts, "Turn activating autistic mode," and I'm like, why? It all makes sense now. But like it's shit like that can be like memed on from like the manga, but like it's not in the anime. I swear to God, it's not. And so,
You think they'll ever like make it like a manga accurate reboot or something?
maybe there have been already a few reboots already. One of them was actually done by with the artist of I can't remember who the artist was, but like they have really good art.
Hmm.
I have to look them up. Like it came out like 2019, 2020
Hmm.
ish, somewhere around that time.
Is that the CGI one? Because I know there's like a CGI one on like Netflix or something.
Yes, it was. It was. It was.
Hmm.
That's the one. And it originally, the artistic style they went with came from like an independent artist that was like
Hmm.
very popular for the longest time. And actually, if I remember correctly, if this is the right person I'm thinking of, I think it's Art Germ. I think Art
Hmm.
Germ is the name of the artist, and they
Hmm.
made a breakout career within 2017 to like 2020
Hmm.
because they were doing like alternate art covers for a lot of comic books from like Marvel to DC to other
Hmm.
properties as well, and like I said before, they even did the whole new redesign for the CGI Ghost in the Shell movie on Netflix as
Hmm.
well. So like they had a breakout career that it was honestly very well deserved.
Hmm.
Um, but yes, speaking of anime and whatnot, uh,
Hmm.
so Dakota and I decided to watch, barely able to watch, Garden of Sinners because of all that long list of IMDb choices
Hmm.
had to choose from. I was stuck between uh Garden of Sinners or Ghost in the Shell,
Hmm.
both of which I am fans of, and ironically, both of which I am not well versed in to a certain extent.
Hmm.
Like I know of them, but I've never like deep dived in either of them.
Hmm.
Ironically, more so, not as much deep dived into Ghost in the Shell compared to Garden of Sinners. Garden of Sinners, I am aware of for several reasons. Because back before my VTubing days, I was a nerd debater on Facebook,
Hmm.
where I was part of like a bunch of nerd groups where we debated like characters like who would win between like Superman versus Goku, that kind of
That's
shit.
interesting.
Yeah, so I was part of stuff like that for the longest time, and so a lot of my nerd knowledge comes from secondhand knowledge from people portraying certain characters in like these versus debates
Hmm.
to me deep diving these characters myself when debating characters and whatnot. And so one of those characters I loved so much because her eye ability is so fucking broken was Ryugi
Hmm.
Shiki from Garden of Sinners. And
Hmm.
outside the understanding of the complexity of her eye ability to her Reddit respect thread that has snippets and screenshots of the original novel she's from,
Hmm.
to some of the scenes turned into GIFs as well. I did not know much more outside of that, which
Hmm.
doesn't really do the character justice in more ways than one, because what they had on her Reddit respect thread was very lackluster, if that makes sense. It was
Hmm.
very so. Like it was good for like, basic surface level information of the character, but like I only thought that was only because there was like maybe one or two movies where like she shows off her
Hmm.
badassness, but
Hmm.
no, I did not realize there was 8 fucking movies.
No.
Yeah, and so I was surprised by that. Like I knew there was like
Hmm.
there was like a trilogy movies or something like that, but eight
Hmm.
movies? Damn.
It's honestly just kind of like a TV show at that point because it's only like an hour long.
Mm-hmm. But then again,
No.
a lot of animated movies are like around that time frame because of
Hmm.
certain given
Hmm.
time lapse between each
Hmm.
book being adapted and whatnot.
Hmm.
And uh so we managed to yarhar our way to watch the first movie, and I say this barely again because like whenever like we would get into having that like suspenseful tension that we were talking about earlier, we
Instantly broken by lag.
buffering lag, or the site would just crash automatically, and that would just take us out of it. So I really do want to watch it again on my own and see if it'll be like not as
Mhm,
laggy for me in that regard,
mhm,
and see if I could, experience it a little bit more deeply. But all in all, it was very good in my opinion, and the
mhm,
animation, even though it's from 2007,
mhm,
Ufotable is like on their game with their animation. It's crazy. Like they're always like ahead of their time when it comes, like the animation in the movie alone just reminds me of
mhm,
a lot of animation that we're seeing in like in today's age. Like they're
mhm,
always ahead of their time in that regard.
mhm,
And I just liked it. Like
mhm,
how it started off with the ghost girl to uh go into Shiki's perspective, where Mikoto
mhm,
visits her and everything. Like, and that's the first thing I noticed, because a lot of times in a lot of anime, and also a little heads up, we also watched a little bit of more of Ufotable's works, like Fate's Stay Night,
mhm.
after we watched Garden of Sinners, and in and this is why I noticed immediately compared to the difference is that
Oh yeah.
the starting portions is that there was no music. It was
Mhm,
just absolute natural silence. And then but with like Fate Stay Night at the in the prologue episode for that, it's like there's like already like that eerie generic
mhm,
filler background music, like that's like not like overwhelming, but like it's like my BGM right now. It's like my
mhm.
BGM. It's like not overwhelming, but it's there.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that kind of got me uh interested or hooked uh
Mhm,
immediately, because of like that already has my senses not overloaded, not underwhelmed, but curious. And the fact that there's a fucking Häagen-Dazs sponsorship in
Oh,
the movie.
is the product placement gonna be like a running theme? Because like even in the what was it, Fate Stay at Night, they had like she was like drinking Minute Maid at the beginning.
I think that that's actually a good question. I think that might have been like a sort of sponsorship at some point.
Mhm,
I really have to look into it, see if like or not Ufotable, but like Type Moon actually
mhm,
did any like sponsorships with like Haagen-Dazs or Minute Maid.
mhm,
I would
mhm,
assume Minute Maid, at least, because I think Minute Maid in Japan does a lot of like anime related crossovers here and
mhm.
there. So I would probably assume so at some point.
Isn't there like an anime where it was like sponsored by like Domino's or something, and the whole thing there's just Domino's everywhere, like their apartment's just full of Domino's pizza boxes and stuff? I don't know what it was, but I remember seeing a meme about that.
I think so. I think so. I mean, actually, well, even recently, there's a lot of like anime related sponsorships.
Hmm.
Like, for example, the fucking LA Lakers have a sponsorship with fucking One Piece.
Hmm.
And then I don't know who else, but I think I even
Hmm.
remember seeing like I think it was the Domino's one recently, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah.
It's always funny when like stuff has just really out of place like product placement. Like I'm thinking like I think it's like the Uncharted movie and like the Power Rangers movie. They both like have an ending battle where like Power Rangers they fight in a was it like a Krispy Kreme, and it's like a major
Yes.
plot point in the movie. And then like in Uncharted, there's like a fight scene in a KFC or something. It's like, oh yeah, when I think Uncharted, KFC. It's just immersion. Imagine if they did that in Indiana Jones, the immersion just broken, just a fight scene in KFC.
Oh god, that would actually have made there if they that I'm scared that you might have actually given the internet an idea then, because Jesus
Mm,
Christ, Disney,
mm,
with all the shit they're doing right now, probably just gave them a whole fucking
mm.
new thing to Michael Bay their way, gain extra money, because like of all
I
the
mean,
flops they've been doing lately.
mm. But I get this with Disney. That like a lot of their stuff is either like sci-fi, like Star Wars, or like medieval times, like they're Disney princess movies, so like they don't
Right.
really have anything to have product placement in, except for maybe the Marvel stuff. But that would probably just feel natural, kind of in Marvel, since it's like in the real world.
Yeah, I guess.
Like they like straight up like name drop Fortnite and like Endgame.
Ah. You know, it's actually funny you mentioned that because I do recall that in an episode of Invincible,
Hmm.
Mark is facing a guy who travels across the multiverse, and
Hmm.
Mark comes back through a portal, and he literally has
Oh, the Fortnite
a
gun. Yeah,
Fortnite gun, and he smacks the guy with it. And like,
I heard that the idea for that was that like right before that season they did the Invincible collab in Fortnite, so that joke was to be like, no, 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 that him being in the Fortnite that one season is canon to the show. That so like in between seasons that happens. So like being in Fortnite is just canon.
you
I
realize
thought it's kind of funny.
you realize how much of a mind fuck that is now, and how much
Mhm.
like this like creates a whole fucking like
Mhm.
iceberg levels of like a multiverse theory now, because of like
Mhm.
now it makes all the shit multiverse
Mhm.
related in Fortnite canon to like
Mhm.
everything, especially since they have like Rick and Morty and all of
Oh
them.
yeah.
Ah, don't you just love it when when IPs cross over so much?
Mm. That like I think I mentioned this the other day about like the snow globe theory about how like there's like this older show about like a spooky hospital and like a mystery or something, and then like at the end of the show it's revealed that the whole thing takes place within a child's snow globe. But like the
Yeah.
funny thing is that show had a crossover with another show, so people are like, oh, so that means canonically that show's also in the snow globe. But then again, it's like kind of like a Pandora's box because that show collabed with another show, which collabed with another show, and people kind of made it like an entire like timeline of every single show, like how every single show that's out there connects through random crossovers. So like every show on
Hmm.
TV is like in that snow globe because of that one crossover. It
Yeah.
just like split, it just splinters to everything. Like,
Yeah.
which is probably even worse now because like you just mentioned Fortnite, because like I know like one of the things connected is like Simpsons and like X Files. So that means oh wait, no wait, never mind. Simpsons isn't. No, Simpsons crossed over with Family Guy, and Family Guy's in Fortnite, so that means Fortnite's in the snow globe.
Jesus Christ. Like I said, the fucking iceberg, or now a snow
Hmm.
globe of level of, like, fan theories. It
Like
was,
you could literally like Google like like the little like map of like all how every single show connects. It's really funny. Like someone really put a lot of thought into this.
yeah, someone put a lot of thought into this, and at the same time, it's just like, you're
Hmm.
never gonna see this actually be confirmed by anyone because of legal reasons.
Oh yeah.
Like, the closest
It,
anything has ever come to, like, being canonical is, like,
hmm.
what was it? In DC Comics,
Hmm.
there's a wall outside
Hmm.
the very existence of the universe that you
Hmm.
cannot venture over. And it's a wall
Hmm.
compiled with the bodies of like dead gods and whatnot, or gods that are sealed within this wall. But if
Hmm.
you manage to go over the wall and look over on the other side, you'll see
Hmm.
Oblivion, basically. But
Hmm.
someone actually made a comic that was about what's on the other side of the wall, and they had like,
Hmm.
what was, I think it was Superman or
Hmm.
Darkseid, or what's that guy? One guy, Mobius. Not Morbius. Not Morbius. That's Marvel, and that's somebody else. That's whole. Fuck. What was his name?
Morpheus or Morpho?
No,
Metamorpho?
no. It's he rides a thing called the Mobius chair.
Hmm.
I can't remember his name, but he's basically the god of like knowledge and shit like that. And he
Hmm.
gets curious of the wall, and so he goes over to see what's on the other side.
Hmm.
And guess what's on the other side?
The Futurama gang, but with cowboy hats.
I like that reference. I like that reference, but unfortunately, no. It's actually the Marvel comic universe is on the other side of
Interesting.
it. But
Hmm.
it was never confirmed afterwards. They did
Hmm.
a Marvel versus DC crossover back in the
Hmm.
early to mid 90s.
Hmm.
And that's it. They never did a Marvel versus DC crossover event like that again.
Hmm.
They were trying to set one up
Hmm.
back in like 2018, 2019, after the events of the Doomsday Clock
Hmm.
with Dr.
Yeah,
Manhattan.
wasn't there like a Superman cameo in a Marvel comic where they like just mention a blue blur and you see a dot in the sky?
Yeah, and there was a cover for one of the Marvel comics around this era, around this year,
Hmm.
where it's I think like the Fantastic Four or something going through the multiverse, and there's like
Hmm.
various realities they're going through, and in one of those panels of those various realities that they're seeing, you see
Hmm.
a specific leg
Hmm.
and a certain Golden Globe object on
Hmm.
top of a building in the background of that
Yeah, the
leg.
Superman building.
Yep. And that was a hint at
Hmm.
the next Marvel versus DC event that they were planning.
Hmm.
And then in another comic storyline where Thor becomes the Herald of Galactus,
Hmm.
they travel to a planet that looks like Earth
Hmm.
and they start to devour that planet, but you see that there are certain blurs trying to
Hmm.
confront Thor and Galactus. One specifically looking like Green Lantern, one specifically looking like Superman, and one specifically looking like the Flash.
Hmm.
And then that was it after a time. Then the Doomsday Clock event happened, which was a big build
Hmm.
up to kind of a mediocre disappointment at the end of the storyline, unfortunately, where Dr. Manhattan leaves existence.
Hmm.
But before he goes, he tells the reader of what he last sees in the future about
Hmm.
Superman fighting a giant green hulking behemoth
Hmm.
and so on and so forth. And
Hmm.
so that was also another hint at a Marvel versus DC event happening.
Hmm.
And everyone was excited and stoked about this crossover event. And you want to know what happened after that?
Did Feige get promoted to be in charge of the comics?
No, COVID happened and the crossover
Uh,
event got canceled.
uh, I could also see it be a factor being like because like Feige used to just be in charge of like the movies, but like around like the 20 teens and the 2020s, he was like promoted to like everything Marvel, like cartoons and comics. So like maybe he was like, no, we're not doing that.
I don't know why though, because that would actually be something like everyone would like to
Hmm.
see, especially with all the like the new characters that have been
Hmm.
introduced since the 1990s. You know, since their
Hmm.
last crossover event.
You would be really funny though if like like the next Avengers movie is gonna be a multiverse movie, and if Deadpool's in it, that would be cool. But it would be really funny if we get like one DC cameo, but of Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern and instantly getting killed by Doctor Doom in front of Deadpool, or at least a legally distinct Green Lantern knockoff.
I would actually love that. I would love that to see that. Oh
Like
my
just the
god.
one DC cameo. Like, come on, Disney, just the one. It doesn't even have to be Green Lantern. It could just be a glowing green Ryan Reynolds,
You know what's
legally
funny?
distinct.
What's funny is that they could actually like buy like
Mm-hmm.
Warner Brothers, like, hey, can we have like Green Lantern
Mm-hmm.
for like 5 minutes and we'll give you like, $5 million for like that
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes? And I'm like, they'll probably say yes to that.
I
And that,
mean, they did that with the Chip and Dale movie, where there's like it has like cameos from DreamWorks movies and South Park, and it's like,
yeah,
how'd you get the rights to this? And like we just asked.
yeah, seriously. So like,
And then I think with like Ugly Sonic, they just like he was just a parody because they made him look slightly different.
yeah, but like we all
Yeah.
do.
It's like it's not Sonic, it's Ugly Sonic, so we're able to use them under parody law.
Yeah,
But like everyone else, they just kind of just asked.
yeah.
Just a matter of like, you know what? Honestly, now would be a good time because James Gunn's in charge. He'd probably say, "Yeah, hell yeah."
Ooh, yeah, that's true. That is very
Hmm.
true.
Hmm. I'm pretty sure, like when he was filming, Peacemaker, the scene with the Justice League. The show already wrapped up, but he wanted to do that little quick like scene. So he asked a favor from Marvel, like, "Hey, can I use your like volume TV screen to like instead of a green screen real quick?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So like, he's already asked Disney for a favor before. They could just do it again.
Yeah, that could work. I can see that.
Mm-hmm. Again, it could just be legally distinct Green Lantern. It doesn't have to be Green Lantern. He'd be the Emerald Torch or some shit.
Emerald Torch. All right, we got like so off topic so fast. All right, okay, back to Garden of Sinners. How did we yap so much off of Häagen-Dazs?
Yeah, like it just went from like product placement to crossover somehow in multiverse into the Häagen-Dazs verse.
Häagen-Dazs are that good too. So good that it'll make you sidetrack for like 15 minutes. Sponsor us, Häagen-Dazs, please. Okay, but yeah, so yes, there are Häagen-Dazs that exist within the fictional world of Garden of Sinners. And
Minute Maid, if they're all in the same universe.
Shit, you're right. Fuck.
I mean, it's not as like unbelievable as we think, because if it takes place in a world inspired by our real world, like, yeah, it's gonna have real world stuff, but it's just funny to just see it in like such like an anime of all things.
I'm just surprised we haven't gotten like another like animated like Adam Sandler movie because like now that would have a shit ton of product placements. But
did you know the guy who made 8 Crazy Nights, the animator, like he was in an accident a year or two ago, like a car accident. He survived, he was fine, but like he kind of had a kind of like, oh shit, like I have a lot of stuff that's technically I'm not supposed to release, right? Because NDAs or whatever.
Right.
But like I want to release my art so the world, it doesn't just disappear when I go.
Right.
So like he released his Kingdom Hearts pilot.
Wait, what? What?
Yeah, he released an animatic for a canceled Kingdom Hearts animated show from the 2000s. And like you can watch it on YouTube, but you can just find it. It's probably people probably can just keep re-uploading it, but just like, wait, the 8 Crazy Nights guy was going to make Kingdom Hearts.
I don't know how I feel about that.
But like, I guess there was like something with Square Enix and Disney, and like, yeah, we don't want to do this.
Yeah, especially with like Square Enix being like all like the anime stuff, the anime aesthetic.
Like, not because the pie was necessarily bad, just like the crossover and legal stuff. Like Disney, like, do we really want to do this with our characters? And Square Enix, do we really want Disney to make a cartoon? But like, he was like, I almost died. The world needs to see this.
Just in case I die, and no one can sue me if I'm gone. So fuck it.
Kingdom Hearts. It's just so random. It just came out of nowhere, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
So unexpected on like 5 layers.
Like he's a really nice. He's a really nice animator. Like,
yeah, I bet.
Like jokes aside of 8 Crazy Nights, it's really well animated.
It is.
I assume he might like him or the people who animate also did like Iron Giant. That's why they have the same art style.
Oh, that makes sense now.
I'm surprised they didn't do other movies like the animation studio, because it's very nice animation, but I guess it makes sense since like Warner Brothers screwed over Iron Giant and all their animated movies, and then like 8 Crazy Nights flopped, so like it makes sense. But like it's so beautiful animation.
Warner Brothers just loves screwing people over. That's like just been their theme, and just like they're like, oh wait, we can't make money by screwing our workers over anymore. Well, shit. What can we do now? How about you make an actually good product? Nah.
Like the 2000s, the brief period in the 2000s where they like making animated movies, like they just screwed them all over. Like like they bought another animation studio that was making the movie Cats Don't Dance, but like Warner Brothers was already making Quest for Camelot, and they're like, we don't really want to advertise your movie, so just let it flop. And then like Quest for Camelot was shit, and it flopped. So then they're like, and then I think Osmosis Joan also kind of flopped. So they were like, don't advertise Iron Giant. We're just gonna give up.
And then it was also a really good movie. Like, honestly, depending
the best movie,
the
last one.
Well, the best out of the three, that was the best one, yes. But it's so ironic too, considering like they would, I don't know.
They just really wanted to get that Disney knock princess fought. They like, we got to knock off Disney princesses. Quest for Camelot. It's gonna be the big thing, and it's like this movie's not really good.
They did, and if I remember correctly, one of the movies that they did, I think, wasn't it The Swan or something like that?
Maybe. I think that might have been made by the same studio that did Cats Don't Dance that they acquired, and then they just screwed those movies over. Though with The Swan Princess, it got a bunch of direct-to-video sequels, so I guess it was a success.
But it would have been a much bigger success if it didn't release on the same week as The Lion King. Yeah, that shot themselves in the foot there.
Yeah. That weird period in like the 90s, early 2000s where everyone was trying to like, we need to do a Disney princess knockoff, and then they just kind of like didn't really work out. Like it was like Anastasia, the Swan Princess, like Quest for Camelot.
I love Anastasia so much.
I'm pretty sure Quest for Camelot was supposed to be like PG-13 or like an adult movie, but then they like, no, Disney money, make it a musical for kids.
That explains so much. Especially with like all of the actors that they have on there, like J.Lo White, that literally Steve Urkel as the fucking talking axe. Are you kidding me?
The chicken axe.
The chicken axe. The fucking
like,
chicken
you
axe.
talking to me?
Oh
you
my god! I forgot that's his voice.
You must be talking to me. Oh, you got a chicken.
So glad that J.Lo White managed to like outgrow that tight cast for him for the longest time.
Well, they did that recent like Urkel Saves Christmas special, like on, it was supposed to be HBO Max, but it got like tax written off and sold to like Amazon or something.
Really?
Yeah, like they like sold it along with the Batman show and like a Batman Christmas special. Like I don't know, but it's just like randomly in like the 2020s. Urkel Saves Christmas animated special.
I gotta look this up now, because the last time J.Lo White before that played Steve Urkel, he reprised the role again, like in the early 2010s with Key and Peele, and made a parody of why Family Matters was like such a big hit and whatnot, and why like Steve Urkel was like such a popular main character and whatnot, even though around this time he was pretty fucking annoying because of the voice and everything.
I remember watching a video talking about like that Jim Henson show Dinosaurs and like another obscure show that was also puppets with but about aliens that no one knows about. So like Dinosaurs both aliens, and they both like aired with the Urkel show. But like apparently Urkel was getting really mad that he was like in the same block as those Muppet things, as he's like, you're making me I don't want to be like with a bunch of like kiddie stuff. Like it's just like I don't know, people are gonna take me seriously. And the guy in the video is like,
what?
You're in a show with Robo Urkel. What are you complaining about? Your show's cartoony too.
Have you not heard your fucking voice that you're playing as? Like, dude, what the
mean your show's not gonna get taken seriously? Your co-star is Robo Urkel.
I mean, Family Matters did have its like strong like family value moments, but like half the time it gets like Urkel was the comic relief to relieve the tension. Yeah. That was that's the thing about with a lot of shows is like anything, just about everything, even fucking South Park has great emotional philosophy or like messages and whatnot, but like they get like ruined because if they get taken too seriously, they won't have because they'll think their viewers are like preaching at them, not to them, And so then they have to like relieve the tension with like a joke like Cartman farting and some shit like that. And then Urkel was that comedic relief. He was, I'm sorry to say this, he was the fart.
You know, it's really funny how we're supposed to be talking about Garden. We're supposed to be talking about Garden of Sinners, and somehow we've devolved into Robo Urkel.
We're gonna have to practice on trying to keep on track in future podcasts. But let's see what else. Anyways, so back to Häagen-Dazs.
It's really funny. Our main takeaway after watching Garden of Sinners is like, oh, Häagen-Dazs.
I really should have like gotten like clip notes or something like that. But like, so basically, the premise of Garden of Sinners Chapter 1 is that there are a string of unaliving going on where schoolgirls are being compelled by supernatural means to basically jump off of buildings in
Minecraft.
in Minecraft, like specific abandoned buildings, basically, that are said to be like haunted and whatnot. And so this is what I kind of regret doing when I showed you the synopsis for Garden of Sinners, is that I knew of the supernatural element going into this, but I kind of regret showing you the synopsis that talks about, a paranormal investigation and shit. Because, like, I feel like that, for you, at least, that might have had, like, maybe a different impact. Where, like, oh, wait, this is about ghosts?
To be fair, like, when you say we're going to watch this, I did a quick Google search, like, just, like, skim the synopsis and looked how many episodes there were. But, like, but, like, with a lot of anime, there's usually, like, a supernatural element. So I kind of just expected it, you know?
Yeah, but
Even if I did. Yeah.
Yeah, but how it starts off with, like, no, yeah, you already, like, kind of, like, looked it up for yourself, but, like, how it starts off, it literally doesn't, you wouldn't not think it was, like, supernatural at all, for, like, the good, like, first 5, maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, I guess if they really wanted to, they could have, like, cut out all the ghost stuff and just made it a detective show, like the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock or whatever, like, ooh, people are jumping off buildings in Minecraft, but what if there's another reason why? Maybe they were pushed. I mean, not really.
It's really hard to say that for sure, because, like, Type Moon is always known for making some kind of, like, suspension of disbelief levels of wackiness, if that makes sense. You know, like Garden of Sinners Chapter 1, about a ghost taking over or possessing kids to jump off buildings in Minecraft because of them being lonely and wanting friends in the afterlife with them, right? Then, like, Fate Stay Night is quite literally a bunch of wizards wanting to do Fortnite with historical and mythological figures over the fucking Holy Grail. And a lot of shit like that. Oh my god, Tsukihime is actually even more unhinged now I think about it, because it literally starts off... I don't know. I kind of wish Type Moon would make a Tsukihime anime, because I would love that. The only problem is that depending on what route they decide to take, there's a certain, like, sex scene in that route that's non-consensual, if you catch my drift. And so I think that's the only thing that's keeping them from, like, animating that series. But it's in the manga. It's in their fucking manga. It's in their fucking visual novel. So you already have, like, 2 mediums. You have a video game and comic medium where, like, this is depicted. So, like, you can even probably, like, skim it over to a degree where people won't be as offended by it. Honestly, I don't even know if that's even the case these days with shit like Goblin Slayer and Redo a Healer, where, like, those are... borderline hentai, more so with Redo a Healer at least, but even still.
Hmm.
And it's like one scene too, and they like really never get back to it like that. But it's like very awkward, I'm not gonna lie, afterwards between those two main characters, and then they end up getting together in the end anyway. So I'm like, okay, so I guess it was consensual. I don't know. But anyways,
Back to like the Fate Stay Night. I was just random brain farts. Like it's basically just historical Pokemon, where it's like Napoleon Bonaparte, I choose you. Abraham Lincoln, use battle axe.
it's actually funny you say that because Napoleon Bonaparte is actually a servant in Fate Grand Order.
No shit.
And Fate Grand Order actually is Pokemon Fate. It really is, because you play in the app game, you play as a main character, male or female does not matter. You do you kind of shit. But I do encourage people to play it because, for one, it's a decent game. It has a fairly decent story, and it's a waifu husbando gacha game. So if you like that kind of stuff, I highly encourage it, because we have a chance of like getting more Fate related anime or Type Moon related projects in the works, because goddamn does that shit fund a lot of their stuff these days. But yeah, you are pretty much a Pokemon trainer catching every single servant that is, and literally in your gacha game itself, that is lore accurate. You basically are the master of every single servant that becomes available to the game. And oh, go ahead.
It would be funny if someone made an indie game that's basically what we're talking about. You could call like Necromon.
Like... Wait. I think a lot of people could take that the wrong way just by that name alone.
Oh, does it mean something bad? I meant like Necromancer Pokemon.
I thought you were gonna say like necrophilia Pokemon.
No. Like,
Peter will come after your ass.
You could summon the ghost to battle for like a Pokemon game, and it's like a bunch of historical figures.
That's basic.
Out of the gutter.
That's basically what Fate Grand Order is. Like, it really is like that. Or it's just like Fate in general, not gonna lie. That's basically what Fate in general is that you get a random servant that could either be from the past or future, by the way. Or future. Hint, hint, wink, 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 nudge, nudge. That is a historical or mythological figure. The only thing that cannot be summoned to a degree are deities. Deities can be summoned, but they have to be nerfed significantly. Otherwise, that's like, bringing a nuke to a gunfight, if that makes sense. It would just not be fair to everyone else. So the system that Fate uses has to like nerf any deities that accidentally get summoned. So for example, the first one that was ever accidentally summoned was Orion in the Archer class, but the first attempt was a big fucking mistake because his wife, who is the goddess of the hunt, Artemis, is in Fate, at least. I don't know about in actual mythology, but in Fate, she is a very clingy wife that literally semi took his place. And so when she goes into battle, she always has a teddy bear on her head. That's Orion. That's the actual Orion that was supposed to be summoned. But Fate recently, I think last year on the English server or the year before that, actually brought in legit Orion. And Jesus Christ, he's a fucking heavy hitter. He's supposed to be an Archer class, but he hits like a fucking berserker. Like, you can... Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Oh, well, he has a bunch of like buffs and everything that literally makes his basic attacks hit you for like 100,000 damage. It's like wild, dude. And he's like so big and bulky, and he's like so masculine too. Like he could like break me like a fucking cracker, dude.
Mhm.
All right, you go.
I was just gonna say something stupid. Like, it would be funny if someone did fan art of that show, but like in the Clone High art style.
That would be hilarious because a lot of the characters that are in Clone High are actually in Fate.
Oh, you could just put them in the outfits.
Yeah, well, Cleopatra is what does Cleopatra look like in Fate again? I'll actually even send it to you in DMs because I'm not
Okay.
quite sure. Because like Fate likes to make them very sexualized because boys like to throw money at that kind of
Yeah.
shit. Cleopatra, fuck, I can't spell. And my cat is just being a noisy busybody. Cleopatra Fate. Right. So I actually like her design and for multiple reasons. Let me see if I can actually find like one that's like her actual in-game sprite. Her in-game sprite is like more accurate because like in Fate Grand Order you have to level up your individual servants in order for them to be useful. Otherwise, if you just have like a level 1 5-star servant, like that's not gonna help you at all. That might as well be like nothing. Like a nothing burger. Oh, like, here it is. Here's a good one. Alright. Let me see. And sent. That's
Pretty cool looking.
Mm-hmm. I don't have her though. I have several other. I have Ozymandias. Ozymandias I love. He is such a goober, and at the same time, he is also a dick. At the same time,
Her snake looks like it's made out of those like magnet like Lego toys. Have you ever seen those with this like little Lego little magnet rods that you like connect with like little magnet balls and you just like make things?
oh, I know what you're talking about. Too. Oh, I'm.
Her snake looks like it's made out of that. Her magnet snake.
Fuck, I forgot what we were talking about.
Häagen-Dazs.
Häagen-Dazs. So, like I said before, like during like the beginning scene, like with the Häagen-Dazs, like there's like no music, and so it's just like so eerie, I guess. And then Ryugi Shiki just like does not fucking take care of herself. Like all she has is fucking Häagen-Dazs and water bottles. That's a diet I can't live on. Like I'm a sugar freak and I can't live off of that.
Like, I almost commented like her fridge is just only full of water bottles, and at the end the guy's just putting more water bottles in there. Like, I think you have enough.
I think you have enough. Yeah. Please put food in there. Put like hot dogs in there or something.
I mean, I guess if maybe they just eat out, yeah. Like, isn't it like Japan and like famous for like food being really affordable? Like, they could just like eat I guess eat out.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, in comparison to us, yes, in terms of like currency exchange. But like if we like, I think it'd be like a whole different ballpark though, depending on where you go. I think. But yeah.
Also, the show does take place in like the '90s, so like who knows how expensive stuff was back then.
Right. I always forget that. So like, a lot of Type Moon's works are based around certain eras, so certain decades. Like there's a spin-off series called Fate Apocrypha that is, if I remember correctly, is based around World War II. And they actually go from like a battle royale to team battles. Whereas like Team Black versus Team Red, and it goes fucking wild. I actually love it too because like they give each character like enough of their own screen time, and a lot of them are promising. Some are not, but I do like the characters in Fate Apocrypha. Some more than others, like Semiramis, for example. Like I love myself the Poison Queen, but and then Mordred, of course, best tomboy, best boy. And then you got Astolfo. Jesus Christ, when Astolfo fucking became like finally appeared in the anime, like the internet went fucking wild for that femboy. There's even memes to this day about the fucking twink who cosplays as Astolfo but like measures their like schlong with a monster can. That's a thing. That's a thing. All because of Astolfo being a pop on Jesus Christ, and that picture alone had like a whole fucking effect on hentai for that character as well. It's fucking crazy how the internet like influenced so heavily because of Astolfo finally become appearing in anime.
You know, it's kind of funny that you mentioned there's like an arc in World War II, because I was honestly kind of curious, like, what if someone got unlucky and summoned, you know, who, and like, oh shit, I'm not affiliated with his opinions, he's just my familiar. But like, oh, they did a World War II season, so they probably to avoid that question. Like, that makes sense.
They actually did two, now that I think about it. They did one with Fate Apocrypha, then they did another one. I can't remember what it was called, but a amateur wizard pretty much accidentally time travels to the past, meets his grandmother, who was young, by the way, who tries to have the hots for him. Ew. And
oh no,
it's basically like fucking Back to the Future, but with your grandma instead of your mom trying to hit on you. And this is during the World War II. And two of the specific servants that get summoned are very significant figures in Japan. One of them is Oda Nobunaga, who is I think one of the warlords of Japan during this like back in like the 1500s. And the other is Okita Tsuji, who was one of the main rebels against Nobunaga. And for them to be resummoned again as enemies against one another is fucking insane. However, it's really hard to hate Nobunaga for a lot of reasons, because Nobunaga's character in Fate Grand Order is so goofy and so adorable. She's a fucking neat in Fate Grand Order. But in this manga, she is... Well, oh yeah, that's another thing too, by the way. Fate and Type Moon likes to gender bend a lot of characters for one reason or another. And I'll explain that a little bit probably in another podcast, or probably like you know, whenever we finish this, and then just regurgitate it again for our next podcast. But Nobunaga, she inadvertently prevented the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Interesting.
Like the actual planes that were like going to like drop the bombs got shot out of the sky by her. And so she prevented like one of the worst natural like human disasters in recent history by herself. And like, is she the bad guy or the good guy? Yeah, and then yeah, so back to Häagen-Dazs. One of the other things that I liked about Garden of Sinners Chapter 1, especially being in the realm of themes of a thriller, was because of the supernatural aspect, because Garden of Sinners knew when to play music and knew when not to. So like the beginning scene, they hooked you with how quiet and eerie and almost realistic how quiet real life conversations can be, and never did like the generic background music to like, you know, ease your
livenly
nerves.
it up.
yeah, liven it
liven
up.
it up.
And then like literally the title sequence happens where it's that
Hmm.
enchanting, almost lullaby esque
Hmm.
hypnotic aura of a song where it's a goes over like the floating butterflies and every glowing
Hmm.
butterflies and everything,
Hmm.
as well as like over the course of the movie you get introduced to just about each and every character and why each and every one of them are have their own um unique strengths that have made them a part of this supernatural detective agency where, well,
Hmm.
everyone except for Mikoto, everyone except for him, I have
Hmm.
no idea why the fuck he's there, even though he's technically the guy that like made it this group happen in the first place. Where Ryugi Shiki has her mystic eyes of depth perception, which in another video probably, if we ever do
Hmm.
follow up with with chapter 2 going forward and whatnot,
Hmm.
I will probably deep dive on her eyes alone because
Hmm.
of how just cool and broken those eyes are. But um um but then yeah, Ryugi Shiki, can like fight. She can
Hmm.
has those eyes that can kill fucking ghosts. So she can
Hmm.
kill what is already dead technically.
Hmm.
And and
The double dead.
the double D. And yeah, she likes giving ghosts the double D. Uh and then Toka, she can make prosthetics for Shiki cuz I still don't know why. Like I said before, like I've like looked into her character. I don't
Hmm.
know why she has a prosthetic arm.
Hmm.
It like ew, I like how the prosthetic arm is like made is very very realistic inside, and
Hmm.
where she like is pulling out each individual nerves or like strands of muscle like
Hmm.
and this kid is why I can never be a doctor.
To be honest, I assumed that maybe she was just possibly fully a robot or like a doll brought to life because it was kind of like they were like talking in like the prosthetic room and like, oh, that like puppet thing was his favorite or whatever. And I'm just kind of like, are they implying that she's kind of like, is this like a Ghost in the Shell thing where she's like more doll than person?
um
But like, I don't know. I guess she just had a prosthetic arm, but I didn't know the context. Like, why were there a bunch of puppets or giant doll mannequins?
I'll kind of like spoil it for you now. She is
Hmm.
not a puppet.
Yeah, I
She
guess just missing an arm.
Yeah, she like I said before, I don't remember how she lost her arm, but it is a
Hmm.
prosthetic.
All right. I was like, is she like a Frankenstein thing where they just like, yo, we made like a puppet doll and we put flesh on it and made it alive? But like,
So when I was
I don't
looking
know.
up the character, the first sentence that on her, especially on her Wikipedia, the first sentence
Hmm.
that is on her like description of her personality is cat-like.
Hmm.
She has a cat-like personality, and you can kind of see it at the end of the anime where she is like being a little bit brooding, but at the
Hmm.
same time she's like almost being affectionate at the same time.
Hmm. Keeps to herself, but deep down she cares.
Yes. And and then again, no idea why uh Mikoto's there.
Hmm.
Like he is like the oddball out despite being like the
Hmm.
leader of the group.
Hmm.
Like he has no, as far as I can tell, he has no specific usefulness or like specific like ability that he
Hmm.
adds to the group other than like being at the the right place at the or like the wrong place at the wrong time. Like
Hmm.
especially when he gets comatose by this ghost.
Hmm.
And then uh I do like how the movie does allude that there is more that, well, obviously because it's chapter 1, how there's like more to it than it seems. Like there's like a
Mm.
broader horizon
Mm.
coming in your wake, especially
Mm.
with the ghost girl waking up in her disabled body,
Mm.
and uh
She like mentioned someone like gave her the power, right?
yeah, someone gave her the ability to astral project herself from her body,
Mm.
since she can't use her body anymore after the accident that blinded and crippled her.
Mm.
And uh yeah, and it was actually interesting too, because like she is technically the enemy, and the investigation that they found of her, where they
Mm.
found her as the culprit for all the building jumping that's happening because of her in Minecraft.
Mm.
Uh, they the puppet maker finds her,
Mm.
Toka, and but like she doesn't kill her or have her killed or anything. She just like has like an honest to god conversation regarding the aspects of life and how you should live with the
Mm.
sins of your own making.
Mm.
And so I thought that was like an interesting, deep, compelling conversation where it's like you can either basically die a bozo
Mm.
or die a hypocrite, or you can just live for yourself and carry the burdens of the sins that you have put upon yourself.
Mm.
And spoiler alert, the crippled girl takes the easy way out, basically,
Mm.
in Minecraft. And yeah, that's the generalization of
Mm.
the movie, is that a bunch of girls are being possessed by a ghost to yeet themselves in Minecraft, and
Mm.
uh the main guy of the group of characters
Mm.
ends up being comatose and possibly going to be the next and last victim,
Mm.
only for Rikishiki to help investigate and prevent the possession of him from leaping
Mm.
off the building, basically.
Mm.
And from there, it turns out there's a lot more to it than that, and
Mm.
like it says, it basically lets you know that the rabbit hole goes deeper than you think it
Mm.
does. And so I'm really curious to know how
Mm.
chapter 2 unfolds for
Mm.
the Garden of Sinners going forward.
Mm. It's really funny, like all you're talking about is like really interesting, but like a lot of that went over my head because I kind like I could follow the story what's going on, but like I don't know, like I felt like it didn't really introduce the characters for me, where it just kind of we just kind of just thrown in. I don't really know who anyone is or like what they're doing, just other than looking into like ghosts, like girls, yeeting.
That would actually, now that you say it like that would actually be an
Hmm.
interesting aspect of the movie if they like never gave like
Hmm.
specific names. Everyone was
Hmm.
just introduced as character, kind of like one of those movies where like
Hmm.
you expect the action or the expressions of the characters to
Hmm.
tell the story for you, and they like never
Hmm.
have a line of dialogue.
Hmm. It's kind of like how like some things have like a window character. You know what I mean? Like like the reason that like say for example Doctor Who, the reason he has a companion is so that way he can explain sci-fi mumbo jumbo to them.
Yeah,
But like
exposition dump.
if the Doctor had no one with him, he'd just be silent and then just random crazy stuff happening, and you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. That's kind of like the caveat to a lot of
Mm.
certain forms of storytelling, especially
Mm.
in regards to Garden of Sinners. Garden of
Mm.
Sinners will not hold your hand,
Yeah.
ironically, but I should unironically, but like Fate Stay Night will hold your hand. It will
Mm.
explain to you all the shit that's happening and like the
Mm.
rules system, and it will hold your hand. It will
Mm.
exposition dump on you. Especially
like
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 where we left off in Fate Stay Night.
mm.
Literally, next episode, everything's gonna get
exposition
explained.
exposition dump.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's just kind of really funny. Is like, like we were introduced. The show like begins with like them in their apartment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like throughout the episode, like the guy's just on the couch, and then I'm just kind of like, wait, is he like paralyzed or something? So someone mentioned something, but like it, I don't know, like nothing in the show like shows it happen. So I thought he was just watching TV or like depressed or something.
I was
And then
curious about that too, and then like towards the end, it's revealed
like,
that he accidentally met that blind girl in the hospital, and his contact with her caused her to inadvertently try to possess him as well.
Like I got that at the end, but it's just kind of like, when did he go to the hospital? Why did he go to the hospital? When did he get paralyzed? Why are they just so cool that he's just paralyzed on their couch? he's just lying there menacingly.
Yeah, that's.
And they're like, oh yeah, he's like paralyzed, possessed or something. And it's just like, oh, when did that happen? I don't know.
Yeah, it happened
It's
off
just never explained. Like a lot of stuff happened off stream, and like again, like with like the ghost girl, like we learned the mystery of like why it is, but she's just kind of like she's just introduced at the end, so it's like a lot of just kind of like stuff like explained at the end, but the whole thing was like there wasn't really any hints or clues like lead to like the girl in the hospital. Just like at the end, they're like, wait, a girl in the hospital?
Yeah,
like, who is she?
Yeah, I will say that is often sometimes Type Moon's weaker points of storytelling is that they would often do stuff like that, whereas like there's like a big twist or reveal and it's like, okay, but like
there was no setup.
There's like no setup. Whereas
it kind of reminds me, gives you the vibe of like the story process for like Adventure Time, where the writers are like, all right, we're gonna do like a bunch of world building for like this like little sub world in Adventure Time, but we're not gonna tell the audience any of the lore, so it's just kind of like weird and you have no idea what's going on, but you could tell there's world building. You just don't know what the world building is. Just stuff their world, you know what I mean?
That would take me out of Adventure Time so fast, not gonna lie. Like if you told me that's how a lot of the stuff for Adventure Time was like done, I would probably have dropped it because like I love world building and
it's like you get like thrown into like say like Adventure Time, there's like an episode like on an alien planet. Like you'll see like a bunch of moving parts and spaceships and stuff on the alien planet and like characters or whatever. And you can clearly tell there's world building, but like they don't tell you, you don't learn the world building. They don't tell you. So it just kind of like gives like this cool alien vibe. Like, wow, this world seems really thought out, but it's just like so alien to me. Which is kind of neat. But like I guess it's kind of like that, but like but like the show's like more of like a mystery. But like it's like, so there's a mystery, but we don't get the pieces of the mystery. The characters just kind of figures it out, and we don't really know fully what happened.
Yeah.
But the show was still, Guardian Cities was still really good. It kind of was like, felt like, it's kind of like a short film in a way where it's like, where like there's like, it's more of like about the story, but like the characters don't really like, aren't important. The stories, they're just telling the story about like ghost girls or something. Like you don't need to know everything. Just like watch it for the story.
Basically, yeah.
That's just like thrown in.
That's basically how it is. If you're just going for the story, go, and then you're in for a good ride. Great animation, great sound design, great action, great suspense, great thrills that come your way. The only, and then it extends for like 7 more short films on top of that.
Like I honestly feel like I'd probably have like more to talk about if we watched more episodes, because I feel like it's like I feel like more will be kind of like explain and like grow to the characters a little better. But like it just on its own, it just kind of like throw it in like a little like short little like story. Like she was like goes through like her office, but like I was just kind of like, is she a detective? Is she a news reporter? Like and then I was like, oh, she's fighting ghosts. Maybe they're paranormal investigators. It's never really explained. Like it's just kind of like talking about like ghost girls and like philosophical stuff. Like I can like assume like okay, she's probably a ghost adventure because this anime is about ghosts.
Yeah, and if you like read like the
Mhm.
synopsis, like you get like a good
Yeah.
idea of what the fuck is like happening to a certain degree.
Mhm.
Like
It-
why is her eyes suddenly turned to rainbow eyes for some
Mhm.
reason, you know, and shit like that. What does
Yeah,
that
I thought that
mean?
was. I just thought that was like a stylistic choice, or like maybe she has powers, but I didn't like either
Oh.
or. Like it just again like the comparison of like how like you're like talking about like oh like they introduced things so well, and I'm just talking about like oh I didn't think they introduced it that well. It's really fascinating. Like I didn't pick up what you picked up, which is kind of neat to me.
So I just remembered something, and it has to do with the eyes, by the way.
Hmm.
And this is when you were asking, like, maybe this is like supposed to be like before the accident that gives the character amnesia. Like, I remembered how you get those eyes. Is that
Hmm.
the accident that she is that causes her to lose her memory?
Hmm.
I know for a fact that chapter 1 is that, after the
Hmm.
accident. So right now she is a character that is an amnesiac. I
Hmm.
know this for sure because the only way you can get those colorful rainbow eyes, aka the
Hmm.
mystic eyes of death perception, is that you have to have a near-death experience.
Hmm. Like the Ricky Gervais movie.
And in some regard, I guess I'm not quite familiar with that.
Yeah, there's like a Ricky Gervais movie where he gets hit by a bus and then just starts seeing ghosts, and they're like, "Yo, can you go like talk to my loved ones because I have unfinished business?" And he's like, "Leave me alone." And then like the one main ghost is like, "Could you like date my girlfriend so that way I know she has like a good loving boyfriend because I don't want her to be alone." And he's like, "Well, I don't want to date your girlfriend. I don't know. Like, please, I can't go to heaven unless like you're perfect for her."
I don't see the downside of that, so why would you
Hmm.
reject that?
Well, he ends up doing it.
Yeah,
Like the ghost basically like giving him advice. Oh, she likes this and likes that. You know what I mean?
that is so awkward. That's like reverse NTR. How do you like reverse NTR yourself? Or like,
Mhm.
is that the ghost kink? As like, I just
No,
like,
the ghost is just like a nice guy. He's just like I don't know. He wants to make sure before he wants his unfinished business. He wants to make sure she's with someone like perfect and not toxic for her.
you
You
want,
know?
hey, you want to bang my girlfriend while I watch? That's literally the only thing that's going through my mind right now. Was like, that's literally the only thing. It's like, it has to be a kink thing. I'm sorry.
Maybe. Oh yeah, I think. Oh, I think like how he dies is kind of funny. Like he almost gets hit by a bus. He's like, "Oh shit!" And then like an air conditioner falls out of a skyscraper and crushes him.
Damn.
Or maybe it was reversed. Maybe he almost got hit by an air conditioner and then walked into traffic. Like it was like he's like, "Oh shit!" Like there's like all this stuff, but like the air conditioner like misses him. He's like, "Oh shit!" And then gets hit by a car.
Imagine,
Yeah.
imagine like rolling like a nat one in life with those kind of circumstances.
Hmm.
Jesus. Ay ay ay. There anything else you want to ask or talk about? And I'll do my best to answer your questions without trying to give spoilers for like what is to be expected going forward.
Hmm.
Watching other Garden Sinners episodes.
Hmm. Well, I don't think I'd mind a little bit of spoiler because I feel like the show's probably better with a little bit of context.
Right,
Like
right.
it feels very much like a show that like I needed to watch like a trailer or something first. But I even think I looked up a trailer and it looked vague. Didn't help that like it's like in another language and I didn't have like I found a trailer, but like it had like German, like it was like German subtitles. I'm like, oh, this isn't helpful.
So
Japanese anime, but with, like the German dub. I'm like, oh, that's not helpful.
no, it's not. So um, what exactly would you like to know?
I don't know anything on the top of my head, but like So like they're just like at a paranormal investigation agency. Like, why did they have dolls?
Uh, in chapter 1,
Hmm.
Toko actually explains that she was
Hmm.
I think like a seamstress or something like that, and she always made like
Okay.
models or like dummies
Okay.
to dress up,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. I think I noted like they were talking about something like that, and they said something like that was their favorite one. So was the guy like the seamstress or like the lady?
The lady, because she
All right.
makes her dolls.
Hmm. How did she get the fake blood?
I don't know, and that's what scares me, and that's why it creeped me out when she made the prosthetic arm for Shiki,
Hmm.
and then she was like literally pulling out muscle fiber like
Hmm.
hooks out of the arm to examine. I'm like, eh,
I mean, you could probably just go to the butcher and like, can I get some fresh meat?
ah.
Or like, could I get some raw blood pudding? Isn't
Ugh.
that isn't like black pudding just like boiled blood? You just like, can I get black pudding but like not cooked? So like, so just a bucket of blood? Yeah.
Huh?
I
Ew.
don't know if I'm making sense. I think black pudding's a thing. Let me look that up. It's just like boiled blood, and when you like boil blood, it gets kind of thick.
Eh.
Like when you like have like fried chicken, and there's like like spot with like the black gunk that's like cooked blood. It's kind of like that, I think. Like it thickens.
That sounds horrifying.
Was black pudding. British iron dish from blood, fat, and cereal. Oh, this is not what I thought it was at all. This looks like a meatloaf. Ew. I thought it was like, oh, never mind then. It's like a meatloaf made out of blood, fat, and cereal. So it's ingredients: pork or beef blood, pork fat or beef suet, oatmeal, oat groats or barley groats, herbs like pennyroyal, onions, mace, white
Mace?
pepper, and salt.
Mace?
Well, that's what it says. Wait, is this? Oh, this is like the AI Google AI recipe.
Oh,
God, imagine following a Google AI recipe. I hate how that's the first fucking result because I was just reading that. Like, it's probably some mostly fact,
mace
but
or
like
maze?
it was spelled MACE.
CE? What?
Mace. Mace spice. What is mace spice? It's a spice. What is mace? What is this? This looks like a flower pod, but they picked out the seeds. Mace often over. I don't feel like reading this. I don't have time for that. But it's a spice of some kind.
I don't know how I feel about that, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Would you eat the blood pudding?
No!
I think it's in a. Wait, was it an? Sing it. It's an Irish dish. Didn't you mention something about being like a little Irish or something?
I was born on St. Patrick's Day. I don't know how
Ah.
Irish I am, though. Not gonna lie, so I don't know in that
Yeah.
regards.
Yeah, but like since you were born on St. Patty's Day, you could have like eat that for St. Patty's Day.
So it's actually funny you mentioned that because on one of my birthdays, 10 odd years ago, my grandparents actually took me out to a bar and grill where they were serving like certain Irish foods for St. Patty's Day. And I ordered the corned beef and cabbage, and Jesus Christ, the corned beef was delicious. So good. And like, and my grandma was like, "You like that?" And like, yeah.
Wasn't there like an episode about like Arthur or whatever about them going to like an Irish restaurant or something, and like DW didn't like spinach, and then they ordered like the pot pie, and they're like, "Oh, it's delicious," and like there's spinach in it, and she's like, "No."
Oh god, I just love when parents do that to their kids and like, oh, you hate this? Well, this has that in it, and I'm like, no.
Like I think like DW is like really picky, and he's like, "Fine, I'll try." Like, oh, it's actually good, and the mom's like, "Yo, my daughter is really picky and likes this. What's the ingredients so I can make it?" And like, "Oh, it's this, that spinach."
One of my little sisters for the longest time, her mother
Mhm.
never cooked. So a lot of the times when my little sister had
Mhm.
food, it was mostly McDonald's. And so she
Mhm.
was a chubby toddler for the longest time,
Mhm.
and she would not eat anything else that wasn't McDonald's. And that pissed my
Mhm.
dad off so much to the point
Mhm.
where she would eat steak. Steak was
Mhm.
the only thing that she would eat. Okay?
Mhm.
So my dad had to lie and say that anything like a pork chop, he'd make a pork chop for her to eat. She wouldn't eat
Mhm.
it because like it's not steak, and like yes it is, it's just made it differently. Then she'd eat it.
Mhm. I mean, that works.
Yeah. Anything else you would like to know about? Because there's a lot of things that are probably gonna come up in the next couple of
Hmm.
chapters for Garden of Sinners. One of which
Hmm.
I am aware of because of the events that happen both in Tsukihime and Fate Stay Night
Hmm.
that correlate with one another and kind of remind me that these
Hmm.
series are in a connected universe.
Hmm.
So they do have like shared similar worldly aspects with one another. Like for
Hmm.
example, in Fate Stay Night, you're going to hear a lot about the Clock Tower Wizard University or some shit like that.
Hmm.
And it's basically where most wizards go. It's basically Hogwarts. It's basically a
Oh
Hogwarts
no.
for Fate or the
Hmm.
Nasuverse in general. And
Heard
then
they're cuckoo over there.
heard what?
I heard they're cuckoo over there.
Oh, basically.
Get clockwork university. Never mind.
Damn it. And then you have the fucking church, which
Hmm.
is the fucking church.
Hmm.
And both those aspects, both those factions are going
Hmm.
to make reference and appearance within
Hmm.
Fate Stay Night and Limited Blade Works. And then in Garden of Sinners, I think one of the church members is gonna make an appearance
Interesting.
within the next couple episodes. They're like not the same like people, not the same character are gonna make a reoccurrence, but like
Hmm.
same faction of people are gonna make
Hmm.
reoccurrence within those two series.
Hmm. It's kind of weird thinking of like a church doing like basically ghost Pokemon, but it's like so like ghosts are real, like, and you're just like summoning them. Isn't that kind of satanic a little bit? Also, kind of like,
So it's funny you
do
say
you,
that, but
do
like
you ask the ghosts where they went? Like when we don't summon you, where do you go?
so it's actually funny you mention that because the abridged version of like Fate
Hmm.
Zero has one of those church people be selected as a master for the Holy Grail War, and I was like,
Hmm.
this sounds very satanic. That's literally the fucking joke the entire time. This is satanic as shit. Are you sure that we should be participating in this?
Hmm.
What's also doubly funny as well is that you can actually have a lot of religious figures be summoned
Hmm.
in the Fate series as well. One of them is Joan of Arc,
Hmm.
the Saint of New Orleans,
Hmm.
and um, recently in Fate Grand Order's English
Hmm.
server, the English game, and I fucking hate how I didn't pull her either. Yeah, you get the Pope.
Oh no.
Yeah, you
Which one?
literally.
There's many.
Fuck, I forgot what.
Doesn't matter. I'm just joking.
No, I know the joke, but like I actually have to look this up now. I forgot which one it is because they gender bent this Pope.
Hmm.
Fate Grand Order Pope. He's a cutie. Pope Johanna.
Someone like, what if someone summons, like Jesus or something, as like, all right, Jesus, and then just have like Jesus on the battlefield, and the rival team's like, we can't fight them. You want me to beat Jesus? That's kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna beat up Jesus.
So there's actually so Fate Grand Order has this thing where like on April Fools they have like these gag caricatures of their characters. So like let me like send you a. Why do I have suicide looked up on my search history? Okay.
Was it because of like Garden of Sinners?
I hope so. I don't know why that was in one of my tabs.
Suicide Squad, baby.
I hope so. Okay. April Fool's Fate Grand Order. So like, who did I show you before? It was Cleopatra, right? So let me do April Fool's Cleopatra. And they have like these like adorable, like goofy ass looking chibi redesigns.
That's cute.
And they're all like goofy looking like that too.
So like you could just like summon anyone hypothetically.
Hypothetically, yes. And so someone who does the art for all these like goofy chibi redesigns did one where a pregnant lady was summoned and the person who's and the main character that you play as in Fate Grand Order is like, wait, I summoned a pregnant lady, and then Joan of Arc is in the background going like, hey yo, and then one and fucking Leonardo da Vinci explains to you that the pregnant woman herself isn't the servant, but the fetus inside her is, and then you have like Joan of Arc in the background like sweating bullets, and then they're like, wait, so you're saying that this virgin vessel is the host of the servant inside her? And then Joan of Arc is like down on her knees like, praise the second coming.
Like, so it was like the mom also like dead, or is the mom alive?
The mom's alive. Thank God she's alive.
So like she's just
that's the joke. The joke is the Virgin Mary got someone pregnant with Jesus.
Oh no, that's fucked.
And what's funny is that is also hilarious at the same time, because in Fate Grand Order, your certain servant characters have certain appearances that are locked behind level progression. So the more you level up a character, the more certain characters' appearances change. So like, let's say for example, you level Virgin Mary up to level 50, for example, and then you exceed her level cap, she will transform most likely into like teenage Jesus, basically. We don't know what the fuck happened to Virgin Mary, but like, you got teenage Jesus now, and then once you hit the final level ascension for Jesus, he would most likely turn into the Jesus we know and love. But it's actually funny that we
Jesus classic.
Basically. But it's funny that we bring up Jesus, because if I remember correctly, I can't remember if it was a fan-made character of Fate, or if it's a real thing, but Jesus of Nazareth, I think, is an actual character. I can't remember.
This reminds me of like the gag in a Clone High where like technically Jesus is in the school, but his name's Jose Cristo.
Love that. That's awesome.
He's like, Jose, I need your advice. And he's like, oh, this reminds me of like that one movie. It was like really cool, man. You know, like it was like 10 out of 10, dude. I'd recommend. Thanks, Jose.
But like, you can like summon like so many people. You can summon deities technically to an extent.
Mhm.
However, they're either nerfed or they have to be housed in a human vessel.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Rin Tosaka, for example, in Fate Stay
Hmm.
Night, is the vessel of so many fucking deities. It's actually
Mhm.
fucking insane. Like, let me show you Ishtar, the
Okay.
goddess of fertility,
Mhm.
from Babylonian times.
Mhm. Do each like they're called like familiars, right?
They're more
Like,
or less familiars, yes.
what are they called? So I know what to call them.
Heroic spirits or servants. That's
Okay,
literally the
servants. All right, I'll just go with servants.
yeah. That's
Do
basically what
like
they
each
are.
servants have like unique powers, or do they just
Yes.
have like weapons?
Yeah. Both. Yes, the both.
All right.
So
Could I hypothetically summon one of the Three Stooges and have them have like Toon Force powers or something?
possibly because Paul Bunyan is a servant.
Interesting.
Also, this character looks familiar.
Who are they?
That's that's
Oh,
Reen.
Virgin Mary.
No, what?
Oh, the. Sorry.
That's a Reen
Hmm.
whose body is possessed by the goddess of fertility known as Ishtar,
Hmm.
which is
Is
fun.
this
Go ahead.
is this one of the joke things, or is it canon to the
That's
show?
canon.
Okay.
In Fate Grand Order, in an alternate reality, sometime in the future of a fucked up 2020, COVID in Fate pretty much hit them hard. Uh,
COVID is canon.
I technically because
Hmm.
in another alternate reality, you're gonna hear that a lot with Fate, by the way. In an
There's a multiverse in this shit.
fucking yes, there is. And it's the in Fate Grand Order is the multiverse thing that it connects all their previous works together. Unfortunately, a fucking app game connects all their
Hmm.
previous works together.
Dang. They multiverses this shit.
Yeah, in an app game,
Hmm. This is like anime Smash Bros.
for real. Also, so like, so that first picture I sent you is Ishtar, right?
Hmm.
So this character looks familiar.
Does this happen in the game or like in the show?
Both. Well,
Okay.
not in the show we're watching.
Okay, but like in like one of the spin-off things.
Yes.
Okay.
So the first one is Ishtar. The second
Hmm.
one, I'm gonna wait until you see her.
Yeah, I see her.
Yeah, she looks familiar, doesn't she?
I don't know.
God damn it. That is Ereshkigal. She is the sister of Ishtar. She is also bodily possessing the same fucking person.
Wait,
So so
they're both
imagine
the same. They're both the same person. These
they're
two pictures.
technically speaking, they're in the same body.
Okay.
So imagine having the same host, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Interesting.
And that's another thing too, is Type Moon is
Hmm.
known for reusing the same like facial features and everything. So
Hmm.
there are like a dozen characters that look like Saber from Fate Stay Night. And
Hmm.
like like Fate Stay Night Saber, and that's gonna be it's gonna be who you think it is, right? So hey, let me find like a good picture. This is a good picture, right? Okay. So you know this character. You know this character, right?
Yes, that was like the saber.
Yep, this is Saber.
Hmm.
Burn that picture, her face, into your memory. Like burn it. Like literally
Okay.
analyze it. Pay attention to all of like the curvatures of the face and everything. The blonde hair, how the hair looks and everything.
Uh huh.
Who the fuck is this then?
Is it the same character or someone else?
That is someone else.
Okay.
That is Emperor Nero. Nero Julius Augustus Claudius Caesar, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It is literally, she is the Nero that you'll learn from history books that is known for having burned Rome just out of fucking spite, and then played a violin over the burning of Rome.
Oh, dang.
She's also a saber, too, and she looks like that first saber I showed you.
Mm-hmm. She's like the first saber, but with like the VTuber crony's hair.
That's true. This is true. You know, actually, no. The artist who does the series that Red Saber's from is the same artist that did Crony's model.
Oh, no shit.
It is. It really is.
That actually makes sense because Crony's model kind of looks slightly different than everyone else's with like the eyes. Like it's similar, but like looking at this character's eyes, like oh shit, it is just Crony.
So Type Moon has a specific art style, like you will see with like the previous pictures that I sent you. Like they have a very recognizable art style. When Fate did the PSP spinoffs called Fate Extra and introduced Nero and so on and so forth, they redesigned a lot of characters with this person's unique art style, which still looks familiar in terms of Fate, but is noticeably unique at the same time. And because of that same uniqueness, you can tell who the artist is whenever you see portraits of that character or portraits designed by this person come up. And when Crony came out, the second Crony was released, or her model was revealed, like I knew immediately who designed that. And if I remember correctly, the model artist for Ina as well is also another Fate designer as well.
That's kind of wild. They got like actual anime artists to like make their VTuber models. Did they just do like the art and then had someone else rig them?
Yeah, they basically just do the art and somebody else rigs it, I believe. But a lot of times, it's often why a lot of the models that Hololive have are like over 10 grand a pop. Is because they hire big, expensive, well-known artists to do these.
They probably don't even have to if they want to save money.
They don't, but because of the uniqueness and familiarity, and pretty much, it's like, imagine getting a PNG tuber designed by Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, I guess it's going for like, all right, we want your design to be recognizable, iconic, and really good. So we're gonna get like a famous character designer to like character design for you.
Yeah, that's basically.
Like, it's gotta be wild if they're like a fan of these shows and like, holy shit, they're making my model.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, for example, Kiara, for example, was a big fan of Steins Gate, and guess who fucking makes her model? The person who created Steins Gate.
Like, imagine like signing up for like early days of like Hololive, and they're like, "Oh, what's your favorite anime?" Like, why? No reason.
That would be fucking awesome. Not gonna lie.
How do you think like these like famous like anime artists like react when they like see like they're like, oh, I'm gonna see what this person using the model I drew is doing, and they're like singing like sticking out my yacht for the Rizzler.
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, oh.
Ay.
I just wanna be part of your skibidi.
No. Alright, so and so this is what I mean again when I'm talking about like a familiarity with a certain like brand representation. The problem with
Mhm.
Fate is that
Mhm.
they have what I call a type Kubo complex, where like
Mhm.
they like to reuse the same
Mhm.
features a lot of the same
Yeah.
faces. So like, Nero and Saber from Fate Stay Night have the
Mhm.
same fucking face basically. Um,
Mhm.
Let me show you. Um, let's see if I can find like a decent picture. I think this one works. So so the first two girls, so the blue saber and the red saber, burn
Mhm.
those images in your mind. Burn those facial features in your mind. Like,
Oh no, there's another.
there's so many, dude. You have no fucking idea. This person looks familiar, don't they?
Oh no. Yeah, they look kind of similar. Yeah, they're
So,
all just like the same person, but like slightly different haircut. Like very in the same like it's the same hair. They have the same hair, but they have like their ponytail done different.
so that is Mordred, and she
Mm.
is the son of the Saber from Fate Stay Night.
Hmm.
And she is the red saber. Oh god, she is on the red team of
Hmm.
Fate Apocrypha, so she is
Hmm.
called the Saber of Red. And you want to know how
Okay.
much more confusing this shit gets?
How?
Nero is referred to as Red Saber.
Oh no.
And so whenever people try to talk about like Fate Apocrypha or Fate Extra, people
Hmm.
get confused immediately because you're talking about Saber of Red or Red
Hmm.
Saber or the Saber who happens to be red.
Oh no.
And it was like and they're like, okay, be more specific. They look like the blue saber from Fate Stay Night. You
Hmm.
have any idea how little that narrows it down?
I mean, I guess it's cut. I don't know. This kind of seems like not really. Maybe they look better in animation. You know, like oh, I can tell them a different, tell them apart. But like, I guess it's like with like anime, there's usually like a lot of characters, and like they use and like a lot of shows with similar art styles. So like, I kind of like expect things starting to look similar, or like oh, this character looks like that character from another show.
Yeah,
But
for
like this, is,
if they were like from different shows or like
yeah.
different companies, maybe. But like these is all from the
Mm-hmm.
same people.
Hmm. Like it's like a family. They could be triplets.
It was just funny because biologically, literally, Mordred is the son of Altair of
Mm.
the Blue Saber from Fate Stay Night. Dude,
Mm.
it's actually fucked up how that lore came to be,
Mm.
and let's just say Merlin's a kinky bastard.
Oh no. You got Merlin in this shit.
Literally,
So like a wizard can summon another wizard.
um, mm,
I
tech,
mean, if
technically
technically
yes.
anyone to become a servant, what if you just get some random Joe as a servant? Like not even like a cool historical figure, like just like Jake from State Farm or from
So
accounting
it's
or something.
actually funny you mention that because that will happen later on in Fate Stay Night
Mm.
when you meet a caster and assassin.
Mm. Like you just get like summon an office worker,
Um,
or is this like has to be? Is this like powerful people with like magic or something that can be summoned into ghosts?
if I recall correctly, um, caster of Red in Fate
Hmm.
Apocrypha is literally just William Shakespeare.
Okay.
So like you can literally summon anyone, and even if they were like not really magical in their past life, they'll
Hmm.
come back magical if you summon them.
Hmm.
Like for example,
Like.
William Shakespeare when he
Hmm.
starts putting on a play or starts
Hmm.
monologuing the intro of a play, you will be put into a hypnotic state.
Oh no, he bores you to sleep.
More or less. Like, for example, oh my god, Frankenstein's in this too. I forgot about that.
Frank, like the scientist or the monster?
Both.
Are they summoned by separate people, or because like the scientists just like summon like another thing, and it's like
So, Type Moon, like I've inferred earlier, likes to take liberty, like with gender
mhm,
swapping and whatnot. So
mhm,
instead of outright Frankenstein's monster, they
mhm.
did Frankenstein's wife.
So like they bride Frankenstein it.
Yeah, yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes.
Okay.
And she's adorable, by the way. She is like,
Hmm.
she like, so she's a berserker black,
Hmm.
and she has this. So berserkers, when they get summoned, have this thing called a madness enchantment
Hmm.
that pretty much enhances their abilities, but like at the cost of like their sanity.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
Berserker of Black is like so fucking adorable. She's like
Hmm.
Bazaka, and she will like grunt and like
Hmm.
"Arr." It's like it's so fucking adorable. Like you won't even believe that she could like bash your head in with that giant mace she carries.
This is like the bride of Frankenstein, right?
Yes, but they still refer to her as Frankenstein.
Okay. But
Just
like
for
Frankenstein's monster, but like they just took the last name basically.
basically.
Okay.
And then
That's kind of strange because like that means like someone died, was resurrected into like a new being, like a new like person, like a different person, like Frankenstein's monster, and then they die and then become a ghost. So
basically,
it's kind of weird.
yeah, is
Because
where
like I assume when like you make a Frankenstein monster, it doesn't have the soul or memories of like the person it was originally. It's just kind of like his own thing.
yeah, yeah, and that's what I love about like Fate Apocrypha is that they, like I said, they give each character just enough of screen time,
Hmm.
respectively, and so like, when William Shakespeare puts Berserker,
Hmm.
uh, in a hypnotic state, they literally
Hmm.
force them to relive their memories of when they
Hmm.
were created and how they
Hmm.
killed the Doctor Frankenstein and everything.
Hmm.
And they're forced to relive that very moment where it was like the
Hmm.
most painful in their lives and shit.
Hmm.
Then oh yeah, Dracula is also a servant as well.
Of course. How does that work? He's undead.
So it's not
So is it
Dracula, it's
the real
Vladimir.
his
Yes,
okay, the
yes,
Vlad guy.
Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
However, similar to Berserker, he has this enchantment that allows him to tap into the folklore behind him.
Hmm.
That makes him a vampire.
Okay, so like he dies, right? And then when he's in like the spirit world or wherever these servants bozos come from, he kind of like learns about like the fanfics about him. He's like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna steal that.
More or less. Like hates he hates uh people referring to him as Dracula or the fucking folk tales that came from his
Hmm.
suffering when he was locked away.
Hmm.
Because like when he was in IRL, when he was locked away, when he was betrayed by the people he once trusted, he had to
Hmm.
literally feed off of rats to sustain himself until he died.
Oh no.
So, and because of that, they referred to him as a bloodsucker and everything,
Ah.
which is where the lore of Dracula and vampires came from.
I wonder if that was the inspiration for bloodbending in Avatar: The Last Airbender, because she was like in a prison cell and then she learned to bloodbend rats.
That is actually on point. I think that most likely was the inspiration for it because that's
Hmm.
actually too hard of a coincidence to say
Hmm.
not say that's like an inspiration from Dracula or
Hmm.
Vlad the Impaler.
Hmm.
Um what other servants? Oh, Achilles. Achilles, the hero Achilles is in this.
Hmm. Is he just comedically suck in the show?
No, actually the exact
Wow.
opposite. And even though he's known for having, the fucking Achilles heel weakness,
Hmm.
um it's actually because of that weakness that he's actually one of the most badass characters that
Hmm.
he's effectively invulnerable. You
Hmm.
cannot kill him unless you either aim for his Achilles heel, which he's a too fast of a motherfucker to even hit.
Hmm.
And if you don't know his identity, you wouldn't even know to hit them there in the first place. And on top of
Hmm.
that, you have to be a fellow demigod to kill him
Uh,
in order to actually like do damage to him. Because like if you were
what if?
like, for example, let's say like let's say Lancer, for example, the blue Lancer, Kukulkan, for example,
Hmm.
from Fate Stay Night. If no, actually no, because Kukulkan's a demigod. Archer. Let's say Archer, for example. Like if Archer were to punch Achilles in the face,
Hmm.
Achilles would just like stand there like unflinching,
Hmm.
untouched, not a scratch on him. But if Kukulkan did it,
Hmm.
he'd give him a black eye basically. That's his special ability.
Hmm. What if someone summons the guy who killed him? Would he be like, oh shit?
I So if I recall correctly, like this goes back to what I said before about like you have to know his weakness.
Hmm.
Uh if the a guy who killed him was unfortunately his opponent, like he's like,
Hmm.
"Hey, round 2, bitch. Give me that ankle." That's basically how it would. But unfortunately, the person who kills him was his mentor Chiron, Centaur.
Hmm.
Well, sort of. Like it was like half him, half Atalanta, the demigod, who is the
Hmm.
daughter of Artemis, I think.
Hmm.
And she's
I just had like I just had like a dumb idea for like a comic strip or something of like Achilles like with his girlfriend, but his girlfriend's like a little gremlin ankle biter. He's like, babe, no.
it's funny you mentioned that because in Fate Apocrypha, Achilles has such the hots for Atalanta, and then she's the one that like half kills him as well.
No. Sorry, it was just being silly, like ankle biting, like the meme. I'm sorry.
Then Berserker of Red is Spartacus,
Hmm.
but he's not very. I honestly don't like this depiction of him because it makes no sense. Like I
Hmm.
get like he was like a gladiator and so like, oh, let's make him a berserker, like okay,
Hmm.
but like he was more of a revolutionary, so
Hmm.
he would have been at least a Avenger class servant.
Do you think
Not,
they just made him like a berserker to like reference like whatever the movie was like? This is Sparta, or they're just like
no, well,
shirtless and murdering
no,
people.
it's funny you say that because King Leonidas is also a servant.
Hmm.
But no, Spartacus is he was a soldier who was taken into slavery, who
Hmm.
was forced to do gladiatorial battles. He
Hmm.
led a revolution that took him and his fellow gladiators to escape, but they were sadly captured again.
Hmm.
However, his fellow gladiators did not want to. Pretty much the offer was, hey, hand over Spartacus and we won't kill you.
Hmm.
Do you want to know what everyone's response was?
What?
I am Spartacus. Yeah, every single one of them was trying to cover for Spartacus.
Hmm.
Every single one of them was like, I am Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. And
Oh,
that's where it comes from because that
that's
is
kind of neat.
mm-hmm. Unfortunately,
Hmm.
that just ended up killing them all.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Like they never sold them out, but it just resulted in everyone dying anyways.
Hmm. I mean, they were like real homies though.
Yeah. Yeah, pour one out for the homies. Damn. That's for
Yeah.
goddamn sure. But um that's why it didn't make any sense because when Spartacus is introduced, he's just introduced as a himbo idiot. Like he's a dumbass. Like he's like
Hmm.
he like hears like there's enemies in the north. Bye y'all, and he goes charging. That's literally how they introduce him. Is like him already leaving the team group. Like he literally
Dang.
Leroy Jenkins himself. going after the enemy.
Mm.
That's literally all he fucking does. And he's literally the second person to die, I think.
Mm.
And ironically, the Dragon Slayer Siegfried is the one that dies first, technically.
Mm.
But he comes back later, but like that's like already going too deep into the lore there, and I kind of already just spoiled like the first death.
Mm.
Um,
Unrelated. This just kind of reminds me about like how they made like a sequel to like the movie Gladiator recently,
really?
and how like
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I think people were like critics were criticizing, like historical people were like criticizing it, saying like, no, the gladiators did not fill the arenas with water, and they did not have access to sharks to even move them in there. And then the director of the movie's like, will you just shut up and watch my movie? I don't give a fuck if they. It's cool.
Honestly, that kind of like throws me out of it a little bit because how do you? I don't know. That is because
Like, how did they get the water?
yeah.
How did they get the sharks? How did they move the sharks to the arena? Like, sharks aren't even in the area where they live. And the director's just like, I think either he was like, I don't give a fuck, or he's like, I mean, this happened in the past. You don't know. It could have happened. It's cool.
It didn't though. We have literal factual evidence that says like, yeah, they had aqueducts back then, but they didn't have it to the extent where like you have fucking sharks.
And let alone fill up the entire arena with sharks.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Where do you get the shark? How do you move a shark in that time period? You don't have fish tanks. Like, yeah, maybe you could get the water, but like, what do you just build like a rowboat, put a shark in it, and just like drag them in there? How does that work?
Like the historical like stuff that I was just talking about that like has me like interested and excited for like fate related stuff is like literally just drained out my body just trying to comprehend the shit in Gladiator 2 right now.
But it's just funny. I don't remember, his reaction was either like, I don't care, it's just a fun movie, or he was just kind of trying to be like, it could have happened. We don't know.
Just take the L.
He's just like, it's a blockbuster movie. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. It's cool.
Blockbuster movie that's like not even historically like if the first movie was like historically accurate to a good degree, and then like suddenly the sequel movie nobody asked for as usual.
I mean, execs asked for it probably.
No one did. No, fuck the execs.
I don't know if this is true, but did you ever hear about like the newer like Matrix movie?
Okay. Here's the thing about that is that people were asking for a sequel for the Matrix for the longest time because the Matrix MMO hinted at there being a continuation because like the events in the MMO game continues off where the last movie left off to a point where they even did something as crazy as killing off Morpheus in that game. And I really need a deep dive in that lore. And then we never got anything after that. Even when the MMO died off, we never got anything after that. And for like so long, and even the Wachowski sisters now, because back then they didn't transition around this time, but the sisters for the Matrix movies just didn't want to have anything to do with them, and I think the MMO game is still canon because it was mentioned that Morpheus was killed off in the last Matrix movie.
They did recast them for it.
They did recast him, but like he for one, Lawrence Fishburne probably would not have been a good fit because like he's out of shape now. Unfortunately, he's getting older, and so he would probably
It's a big budget CG heavy movie. They could have just CG the action or stunt doubled.
Probably. But, like, they did have an excuse where, like, oh, it's the AI of Morpheus, and, like, oh, you can customize my face because I'm an NPC now. And then they did the exact same thing with Ancient Smith, which pissed me off because Hugo Weaving would have been a perfect edition. Like Hugo Weaving coming back for that movie would have elevated the movie so significantly. Like, oh my god, dude. But whatever. But
correct me if have you seen it?
Yes, I have, unfortunately.
Is it true that the plot twist is that like it's the Warner Brothers movie server and they wanted to make a Matrix sequel, so they resurrected Keanu Reeves? Or was that did someone gaslight me?
It's so the Wachowski sister who came
like
back.
they didn't want to make the movie, so they made it like a meta thing.
Yes,
where like
the Wachowski sister that came back for this movie decided to make it a whole meta commentary that pretty much gave Warner Brothers the finger. And like you know, they started off with you know, people in a movie studio, wink wink nudge nudge, talk about potential sequel to the Matrix trilogy. Oh, the Matrix movies are inside this virtual simulation. Ooh. And then like, well, why should we make a third or fourth movie? We ended on a great note, but like, people want the movie. They want, even though we've been asking it for like over a decade, and it's kind of like too late for that with how old like even Keanu Reeves is. But it was just meta commentary from the Wachowski sister to like, oh my god, there's even a scene in the movie where it's like this one, you know, all those like jokes South Park make of the Matrix, where they just make them people wearing leather and sunglasses just spraying bullets all around in like rooms and shit like that. And just make them like a generic caricature of like how the Matrix was portrayed back in the 90s and early 2000s. Imagine that, but it was actually in the fucking movie.
Dang. It's really funny how like the 2020s of Warner Brothers movies, like you have that and you have like the Space Jam sequel, and it's like now with modern context with like how Warner Brothers is going right now, these movies seem like a cry for help from the creatives, where they're just saying like Warner Brothers wants to pump things out like an algorithm, but like the movies are just gonna be cash grabby shit.
Yeah. That's basically why the Wachowski sister for this movie, for one, made this a whole meta commentary that pretty much gave Warner Brothers the finger, and at the same time left it open-ended enough for Warner Brothers to do whatever the fuck they want with it now. Because the Wachowski sister wants nothing to do with this going forward, and they even said, "Balls in your court now. Try to fucking fix this mess I left for you."
They could always do like a retcon sequel, like they do with like horror movies, where it's like how Halloween had like a bunch of like sequels, but now they're not canon. Now this is the real Halloween sequel.
Oh, or like Men in Black International.
That's more of like a spin-off.
They literally made it out to be that the first 3 Men in Black movies were in-universe movies.
Oh yeah. Wait, they're like fake movies?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
It has the same. How would they do that? That seems pointless, because like
that seems pointless and dickish at the same time. Like you literally saying like, oh, this is the definitive Men in Black movie now.
Wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense, because like the whole thing is like Sony wants a cinematic universe. They want a big franchise. If they made this movie because they couldn't get Will Smith back, but like if you're gonna make if International is a success and in the same universe, you could theoretically in the future bring back Will Smith as a character in it, and it would be like a cool like nostalgia thing. But like you made like what? But like the movie's aesthetically the same. It's like the same. That's kind of. Are you sure that's bullshit? Like I remember hearing stuff about like I watched like a review talking about like how the main character is kind of lame in the sense that like I don't know. They're just like, oh, I know you exist. I tracked you down. Also, you can't memory wipe me. Give me a job. And like, okay, you have a job because you're so cool.
I like how this like short circuited your brain so much and pissed you off too. That's like so hilarious. Never thought I would do that.
Like, I don't understand the logic of that because like, Sony, you want money, right?
So
Like, if
look up the CinemaSins video for Men in Black International. I would skip towards like maybe like the last 5 minutes of the video, and you will see what everyone complains about for that movie, other than like bad writing.
Like Men in Black is like the easiest thing to reboot because it's just like an organization. You know what I mean? They can just follow different Men in Blacks, and you don't have to acknowledge the other ones. The reason this movie is called International is like, oh, this is the international division. Will Smith is the New York division. But like, wait, he's not canon. He's just like joke.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I didn't know how to feel about that because that kind of like a wait. This is like when Disney made Star Wars the original expanded universe non-canon. Like now you just wasted everyone's fucking time reading the original books for like a decade. That's like how I feel about this, but like on a lesser extent. Like it pisses me off because like, what the fuck was the point of watching the first 3 movies if you made the 4th movie that was supposed to be like the expanded universe version of Men in Black?
It was perfect for a spin-off. Like the whole concept. Oh, this is Men in Black, but the international division where they travel the world because we've only seen New York. Like, oh, that's a cool idea for a spinoff. But like, you really like you were really certain you couldn't get Will Smith back in the future. Like, you could have had a crossover.
Something.
Like, you know that. I mean, they could always, I guess, retcon it. Where it's like, oh, they were real, but like the movie was based on them, and we just erased everyone's memory of them. But they are real.
They could technically do that, but I don't know unless they get
like, who is going to be in the 21 Jump Street crossover?
Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill. I think around this was before International too, so this was most likely everyone was looking forward to Will Smith and fuck, what's his name? Something Lee.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. Thank you. Yeah, it was supposed to be them, but it got canceled because a lot of conflicting issues with Will Smith's scheduling. There is going to be a 23 Jump Street, by the way. Channing Tatum actually confirmed that's in the works. But like he just needs to like talk to, because he even says that he knows Jonah Hill would love to do a 3rd movie.
I've never really seen those movies, but I remember like they wanted to do like a whole universe with it. Like they were gonna make like a woman spinoff where it's like 21 Jump Street but with like girl cops, and they were gonna like I think I heard the second one has like a bunch of joke posters. Their original plan was to make all those into movies.
Oh god, that would have taken forever.
Yeah, their idea is like, this is a joke, but like in the future, we wouldn't mind making these into real movies.
Jesus Christ.
But like, I don't. Like, honestly, for the Men in Black idea was kind of like, were they gonna get Will Smith back, or I would assume it would just be original Men in Black characters because like you can't get Will Smith for this.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll never know. We don't know the 23rd Jump Street is going to be the crossover we were expecting originally, or if it's just going to be its own thing.
You know what would be a cool idea to like reboot Men in Black? Bring back Josh Brolin, just do prequel movies. Because like the time travel movie, they had like Josh Brolin play a young Tommy Lee Jones. Like, if you can't get Tommy Lee Jones is probably oldest frick. I don't know how long he's not going to want to be doing these movies. We don't know how long he's going to be here. So why not do like a prequel movie with Josh Brolin, because he was a pretty convincing young Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, that's true.
And like a period movie would be cool. Like the aesthetic would be nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the release like Sony just really hates money, don't they?
A lot of companies are fucking allergic to it, dude.
Like it was the easiest thing to do a spin-off reboot. You never even had to acknowledge the first trilogy. So easy. It's cop shit. You know, it's alien cop shit. Like you can just different space cops or whatever. You know? But like, oh, by the way, the characters you like are like a joke and not canon.
Yeah.
But isn't like so like I know like the first two movies have like this guy who's like the head of the Men in Black, but like the actor passed away. In the third movie, they introduced like that one actress. What's her name? Robinson or something?
Ah, I forgot her name, but yeah, she's
Emma
like
Ro-
Emma
yeah, but they
Robertson.
introduced her. I think so. Isn't she an international?
No, she's not.
Oh, okay. I thought she was in that too, because like I think I remember seeing her in the trailers. Like she's the one who's like, "We're gonna have to write memories." Like you can't wipe my memory. I did the research. I am just like a rare medical condition where like I can't get memory wiped. You have to hire me now. Like why wouldn't you? And she's like, "Okay."
That's oddly specific, not gonna lie, but okay.
Like I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of like lame compared to like Will Smith character. He was just like a normal cop who happened to see an alien, and then he just happened to be like a really good fit for the job. Like, oh, okay, you're hired. Rather than like, I tracked you down because I'm just that cool, and you have to hire me now.
Yeah, that's the whole
And they're just
fucking
like-
girl boss syndrome that that kind of like was at the forefront when when that all started for like movie studios back then.
It is really interesting though, because it's both like the actress for Valkyrie and Thor. So like theoretically, they should technically have good chemistry, maybe. But like I don't know. I feel like with like the female Ghostbusters movie, like people discovered, oh shit, Chris Hemsworth is funny. Like he just happens to be funny in that movie. But then ever since then, they like trying to like, can we like get dumb Chris Hemsworth? We need to be funny again. We need to capture the Ghostbusters. But like it just kind of like I don't know, they just can't like replicate it.
Yeah, they just can't. They just keep on trying to force something that like
I think it was just like a fluke, or like they just need better comedy writers for him.
I think they're trying to catch the lightning in the bottle again,
Mm-hmm.
which like as the saying goes, that's impossible unless you do it very, very well, which a lot of people just don't.
Yeah. Like again, like Men in Black is kind of like an action thing. They probably need to like blend like action hero with the humor maybe a little better. But I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. Maybe I'd like it as far as I know. But like that things I've heard is kind of like that kind of just sounds lame.
Yeah.
This just sounds like you're trying to speed run the original movies, but like lame. Like it's just like we need this new character to be like the window character for Men in Black, but like we need to speed run it so she just knows everything already and just like demands a job.
Yes. And that's just bad writing. That's just bad writing.
Like I know like a lot of movies, they're kind of allergic to origin stories. Like we don't want to see Spider-Man and Uncle Ben die, and we don't want to see Batman's parents die, so we need to skip origins. But like I feel like you need to do the origins are important. Like you need to do a good origin so it's the care for the character. Like yes, you can do a movie where the superheroes don't have an origin and it can be good, but like it's just kind of like I feel like there's a piece missing. Like why is Tom Holland's Spider-Man Spider-Man? What spider bit him? Like I don't know.
I agree and disagree at the same time. Because, for example, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, they're literally characters that have been done so much. Casuals know their fucking origin story. So it's like, so it's just like, and that was the whole purpose of why Tom Holland, when he was introduced, like, they glossed that over so fucking fast.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know the story.
But that's like writing a story with meta context, where it's like, there are going to be like kids who've never read Spider-Man comics, right?
Unfortunately.
Or I think Batman's a better example. So they're just supposed to just like, oh, this guy just dressed up as a bat. Why? Like a kid's not gonna know if they've never watched the comics or the cartoons. And you know, like they don't sell the comics anywhere, and like they cancel the cartoons, so like kids don't even know probably who Bugs Bunny is because they don't air anything with them.
Oh god, that's so sad. No one knows Bugs Bunny.
Like literally, I kind of like been interesting maybe after like the Marvel Rivals and like the Marvel season of Fortnite, I've been kind of interested. Like, oh, I kind of want to like read the Gwenpool and maybe Squirrel Girl comics out of curiosity. I can't buy them anywhere. They're not in print anymore. No one's selling used copies, and the ones who are selling them for like $50 or like 200-300 each. So it's like
So it's actually
these are recent comics. Like Marvel, take my money. You sold me.
so that's why a lot of times us comics fans like to either yar har on certain sites that actually show like free comics, or there's other apps out there that exist called Comixology that just
I know.
but
I just want to like read on paper or like buy something, just like start a hobby.
do you want to like so it's funny you mentioned that the comic book store that I often go to actually has a graphic novel of Squirrel Girl. If you want, I could like get that for you.
Nah, it's okay. But like, I'm assuming it's something like I have to like go to like a comic book store or a bookstore to like find something at a reasonable price because like they're probably, I don't know, they probably aren't selling well. But like, it's just like when you look for it online, people are like, oh, it's rare, but it's not. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. All these like the stuff I want to read is a lot of the recent stuff that came out like within like 10 years ish, the past 10 years ish. You know what I mean? Like the 2020s. Because like I remember like seeing stuff when they were first releasing, and now I'm like, oh, Gwenpool looks cool. I want to read Gwenpool because she looks cool in Fortnite, and like the art style looks nice. And I'm like, oh, the comics are in print. Like Marvel, this is why you don't sell comics because you don't sell them.
What do you mean?
I don't.
Well, it depends on like what comic series is like getting publicized that is like still good enough to be even be sold or to consider to like continue. The 2021 run of Moon Knight is still going strong to this day. It's going strong.
Yeah.
4 fucking years later, which I didn't expect it to be that good. Like I've read it. I've read it to a good degree, but like I didn't expect it to go 4 fucking years. Normally normally storylines of these characters only last maybe 2-3 years at best. 4 years and strong. And even then, you can still like I don't know.
I could get acts like if I got like Comixology or Yar Hard, I could like read this stuff, but it's just kind of like I don't want like I already like look at screens enough. My eyes hurt. I just wanted a book.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's why I've been actually very much enjoying a lot of the Warhammer books I've gotten over the years, or over this last year, because like reading them is just so much more enjoyable to me. Like my Ottoman omnibus book, 880 pages, by the way, and I'm already like over like 50-60 pages deep into it, and I'm like the author has an amazing way of writing, like and detailing and explaining actions of characters and whatnot. It's just very satisfying, and I like this. And this is like I have like reading fatigue, where like if I'm reading a book for like 5 minutes, my eyes are like, okay, let me shut my eyes for a minute. But like the Al-Rahman book is like, yeah, I want to read this like hours on end, which is something I haven't done with a book in years, ever since like the Darth Bane trilogy. The Darth Bane trilogy, when I first read and got into it so many years ago, I would literally read that like on and off all day until 5 in the morning.
Like I remember like I think I stopped reading when I was like a teen or whatever after finishing like the Bone series. I'm like, this was peak. I'm satisfying. I don't need to read anymore. I really enjoyed Bone. Sucks they got the Netflix show got canceled before it was animated.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like Netflix was like what like years ago they like hired like a bunch of the best comic writers and animators, and like we're gonna make people's next favorite show, right? That was gonna be like their philosophy, like really good animation. But then as they start losing money and like Netflix being Netflix, they decide new idea. We're gonna try and make things profitable, like the Boss Baby show, and fired everyone.
Oh.
And it was like, yeah, the Boss Baby gets a lot of views and like money, I guess, but this is from like mindless toddlers. It's like baby slop.
Even then,
Like,
this goes back to what I hate about fucking corporations in general. Like, oh, everyone, congratulations on the profits that oh god, like we're expecting to be like so high this year. Oh, by the way, you're all fired. That's literally
yeah,
all that happened in the last 2 years. I fucking hate it.
yeah, like like all these studios, they want like they don't want their stuff to be profitable. They want their stuff to get all the money. And the way I think of it is like, I think with business people, like the whole goal is to like make more money each year. But all these companies have basically like your household names. You basically hit the money cap. You can't make more money, but like they can't be satisfied because they have to make more each year.
That's
And
actually
it just
That's actually an apt description that you made with Square Enix because the shit what's it called, Deus Ex games and the Tomb Raider games were very well received, made back their money and then some, but it was not to the expectations of Square Enix. And so what happened to those games is that they shelved them, and then what happened after that was they sold them off, and now pretty much any other games for Tomb Raider or Deus Ex that were in the works are in development hell until they get people to actually back them or go to a studio that would actually be serviceable for them. And it really fucking sucks, honestly.
Yeah. It's just like you can't satisfy like a corpo because it's like, again, like they can't accept that they hit the money cap, or they have enough money to live a happy life for the rest of their life, but like this the grind stuff, we have to make more each year.
Yeah, but
like,
they just want that. They just want
everyone's buying your stuff. Everyone knows your thing. Everyone's buying your thing. There's no new customers. You hit the cap.
They just want that fucking 25th yacht on their third private island.
And it's like, I know, like you said, like, oh, if the games don't make enough money, everyone gets fired. Games do make our success make money. They still get fired, like Marvel Rivals.
Oh my god, that was such a fucking slap in the face. That pissed me off so much. That's actually why I haven't been playing. One of the reasons why I haven't been playing Marvel Rivals so much is because of that. Like, what the fuck was that? Why? You have all...
I think they only like fire the American team, but it's still like, fucking what the fuck?
Yeah, like you literally got all that goon money and then suddenly, yeah, bye bye. You're like, what?
Yeah, I was watching a live stream and someone was talking about how they used to work in video games, and they were like talking about how like they basically, they was talking to like coworkers, talking about like how there's like a pattern where once the game release, everyone gets fired. So he's like, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and quit early because like I want to go pursue like, you know, streaming or whatever. And he like goes to the boss, is like, I want to quit, and they're like, are you sure? Like, we don't like what you're saying, being fired. That's not true. Like, we're not gonna fire you. You're like, you work good here. He's like, I know you're gonna fire me. Let me go. And he left. Week later, everyone else got fired. He's like, I dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Like I knew it. Like I knew you were gonna. It's consistent. After a game releases, everyone gets fired.
After a big title game from big IP people, you are expected more or less going to get laid off right after.
Yeah.
So jump the ship while you can.
That reminds me of like what happened with like the Inside Out 2, where like before it released, everyone was fired, so they couldn't get bonus checks if the movie was a success. And of course, the movie was a success. So like they were fired right before the movie came out, so they wouldn't get a bonus.
How is that not a lawsuit?
I don't know. The movie made like billions of dollars, like $1 billion, and it's like,
oh, that was right before Christmas too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like no bonus. Like we could save money by firing them early before it releases.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, oh, maybe if I don't know, like maybe if you like wait until the movie comes out, like, oh, it's success, we should like give these people more movies because they made a success. But no, that requires paying them more money. Just like Hollywood doesn't respect animations. It's really sad.
Hollywood just doesn't respect anyone in general. Just I can even go into like a lot of the crazy shit with so many things. Like, oh my god, oh my god, I'm like, ah.
I remember when like Arcane was coming out, like, and like the writers were like, "Fun fact, did you know?" Like, did you know this show's like people are like, "Oh, this show's the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's really good." And like, did you know because it's animated, our script writers got paid less than live action script writers, even though it's the same fucking job?
Are you fucking
And
kidding me?
And people are like, "This show could literally be live action." You know what I mean? Like, it's written like it could be live action. It's that good. Like, writing's writing, like it should be paid the same, but because like Netflix and Hollywood just doesn't respect animation, it's like, oh, we don't need to pay animated writers that much because it's just how it is. But it's like, no, writers should be paid writer's salary. Like, it's the same job as like a live action show. It's just being animated instead of filmed.
And even you can even argue that the animation department is even doing much more of a job than a live action to a certain degree with like, you know, claymation to outright like traditional animation as well, hand animation, drawing animation.
Another really sad thing is like during COVID, all these studios were talking about how like animation just saved, you know, Hollywood because like people can animate and work at home, and that animation is the future. You know what I mean? Like, they saved Hollywood basically. Like, their stuff was the stuff they were able to release animated shows and movies, and they made money. Right after COVID ended, layoffs, cancellations, everything. Like, so like you were literally just praising animators, and now you're just firing everyone. What happened to the whole like animation's the future of Hollywood?
Yep, and then now you got AI technology that they're going to be looking into to get rid of them outright completely.
Yeah, they just use AI because AI can't like we want to animate this stupid idea, and they don't have like someone saying that's like an actual talented person's like, oh, that's not really a good idea. Can we do this? Like, no, do what I want. They just push a button and get what they want, and it's just slop. Like, I know, like, it's why like a lot of like business people and like rich people and like politicians sometimes just post with AI art because like AI art won't say like, no, I don't want to do propaganda, because AI art doesn't have a voice. It'll just do it.
We are fucked.
Yeah. It's like the meme, like me in like the future seeing photos of me committing a crime I didn't do.
All right. So
Like, I didn't. Yeah.
all right, go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm done.
All right. Okay. I was gonna say, probably gonna be sign off in a bit. Is there anything else that you want to ask or talk about real quick that we can get off our chests, like for like, because like we're going to be doing, I don't know, probably later today, whenever we wake up, we might, if you want, we could probably watch Garden of Sinners Chapter 2 together, and if you want, we could probably do like maybe a live reaction to that or something.
Yeah, we can do that. What time would you want to do it?
Whenever we wake up, whatever that is.
All right. I'll just like set my alarm early and just stay in bed and like check my phone until see you're up. That's what I've been doing. Like,
do you not sleep properly?
No, like I wake up or like I go to bed late. I kind of like a night owl, but like it's like I don't want to get out of bed, so I'm just gonna like stay in bed and check my phone until Jambi's up, so I can get a little extra sleep.
Oh yeah, you also stream later today as well. Damn.
Oh yeah. I like stream at night.
Yeah, but
sleep is. But we could do like a midday. Yeah.
Oh, I'm off Tuesday tomorrow. We could do that.
We could do Tuesday. Like, I don't usually stream stuff on Tuesday.
Alrighty. Probably have you try hosting the watching then. That way we could watch that, and then I'll be streaming it. Then hopefully audio doesn't come through my end. Hopefully. Probably.
Like, okay, so we're gonna like react to it live on stream.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
Alrighty. What? Ooh.
You look for Sunderade.
Kinda, yeah, sorta. A lot of people. The Butt Witch? Wait, isn't that from like
The Netflix cartoon.
Yeah, it sounds like a Netflix cartoon. What was that called?
Yeah, that was 12 Forever. That show's kind of sad. What happened to it?
Wait, what happened to it?
Well, the creator lady who made it turned out to be like
Oh, I think I know what you're
with
talking
kids.
about.
So,
Yeah.
like, she's like a creep.
Yeah.
She even like in the pilot, she based one of the character designs on one of the kids she was stalking.
Jeez. Yeah,
Also, the animation studio burned down. So even if they like fired her and made it continued it without her, the animation studio burned down. So like, just cancel it.
Ooh.
Like the show was good, but just like one, the creator was a creep, and then two, the animation studio burnt down. So it's like, we might as well cancel it at that point.
Yeah, that's a yikes in many ways.
Yeah.
All right. I don't see anyone like we know is on, so we can just end here for the night. Thank you all for hopping by. I hope you all enjoy your night. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week. If I don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I will hopefully be back again later to do that live reaction. If not, I have no idea what else we can do. Possibly I'm free Saturday, so we could probably do another podcast like this again Saturday as well.
Okay.
Yeah, see what we can do.
Yeah.
But good night, everybody. Adios.
Yeah. Bye. Have a good night, Jimmy. This was fun.